when they're like, you know it's a dream. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Well,
Oh.
hi everybody. How you doing?
Oh, he's here.
Oh,
Good.
great.
I like when Joe does his like American Texan.
Thanks. It's the only American I ever try.
No, I
the other
love
one's
it.
too
I
hard.
remember
I never try.
you were in a GTA server, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get comfortable.
Is that me playing
I'm
Andy?
gonna see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good times. That's my bad Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, that's fair.
All right.
All right. Welcome out to episode 43, everyone.
43.
Yep. We're in the deeper end. It's a lot has been kicking off. Mark was not here last week, so we're catching up through the recap, and then also dive straight into things. Has anyone got anything they want to shout out before we get started today? Also, Brizzy, I like your wings. I only just noticed.
Thank you.
So cute.
Shout out to my wings.
Shout out.
Are they physical or is that
my
a
God.
filter?
They're real.
Oh, they're real. Oh, I didn't even realize. Okay, cool. Oh, they're attached to the chair. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I think you should have just
Joe
not
ordering
moved Brizzy,
wings
and then
right
we
now.
could
Yeah, I
have told
would've-
Joe
yeah.
that they're your real wings.
No,
Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
maybe it was part of an outfit. I thought it was.
No, Brizzy's a fairy, Joe. That's right. She's a real fairy.
Fairies are real.
But like the Irish kind that might kill you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal your bones.
Yeah, there's no might about this one. She'd absolutely kill you and steal
Yeah.
bones.
She said that way too comfortably.
So, is anyone anything they want to shout, or should we get started with today's episode?
Oh yeah.
In which case,
Let's go. Do it.
who would like to do the recap? Tomorrow, would you like to do the recap? No? It's just because
checked
I
his
remember
face
you,
just in case
I
he was
remember
gonna
you
be like,
saying that you haven't done one yet, right? Didn't you say this like recently? I don't
I
know.
have like 1 second. Sorry, I threw out my back today and yesterday and
shit.
the day before that, so
That's
I have
okay.
to like lean.
It's
Give me
gonna
a
be hard
second.
for him to read.
Yeah.
A
You
bad
take your time, man.
I'm using that. I can't speak. I threw out my back.
Yeah, my back's really bad. It actually is like if I breathe too hard, the back right
put
behind
my
my
whole
neck
body
like
to talking.
screams in pain. It's really bad right
That's
now.
really bad.
Breathing.
Shame.
I'll do it just this once, all right? Because you asked so nicely, and because I was allegedly
What a hero.
so fucking bummed that I hadn't done one yet.
I know. It was. I didn't want to leave you out.
Aw.
Last we left off, we had just been transported to what we believed to be Juno's home. However, with some unwanted intervention from the Grey Sisters, we were instead southeast of Athra, caught between a quarantined area. With the aid from a merchant, we traveled past the blockade into the area and found the musician we were after. The Muse of Tragedy was twisting his sorrow against him, forming a massive snake to take form. We freed him of his tragedy and brought him with us, hoping to convince him to hand over his god-summoning shell.
And you'd just gone onto the merchant's cart and wagon, heading off with wine, heading down towards Athra. Athra in the distance from you. As you kind of graze over the hills, you'd heard in the background as the giant snake, which you had polymorphed down into a very small snake, burst as it formed back into its size, the dirt pluming off in the distance. But no longer your worry. You have Orpheus. With you, you have Bedos, the merchant lord, who is guiding your cart and many other carts down this road towards it. Whereas in Athra, having just burst through the water, an hour or two before this, Juno, you hit through the water. You see the familiar.
Give me a minute, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a minute here.
get
I
into
gotta wake up because
It's okay,
I
okay.
didn't expect you
Go
to
get
come to
some
me so
water.
quick.
So you
No, I'm
can
right.
both wake
I'm good.
yourself up
Yeah.
and feel like
Whoa.
you're coming out of the water.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't expect you to come to me straight away. I thought
I
I'd
know.
have more time.
It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
I know, that's why I did it.
Right. Okay. Here we go.
You got this. The river,
believe it.
familiar river, flowing down around you. You've got the dock as it kind of pulls out only slightly. Your father's boat docked against it, pulled up. You can see your home. You can see through the window as the kind of light sheens through. It's midday. You can see as your mother's armor on the wall kind of gleams out, creating kind of almost like a mirroring effect, causing the light to spread outward into the house. And out on the front, moving supplies back and forth onto the boat, you see your father with grey and wisp in his beard, but his hair's still dark and curly, similar to yours as it curls down. And he's moving boxes into the wiping sweat off as the sun beats down, a warm day. Andriana! Andriana, is that the last one? He turns. You're just kind of treading water there in the river.
I would probably... there would be some commotion because without the ring as well, like, there's still the sort of tender hooks of fear with, you know, swimming in the ocean and things like that. But seeing the house, seeing the boat, seeing the docks, and seeing father and mother, or knowing that mother's nearby, Juno would probably be attempting to swim up to the docks. I mean, she's athletic, so she can swim.
Yeah.
She knows how to swim, but like it's definitely like a bit more panicked maybe as she's trying to get there. So it would probably make some noise to draw attention, but is first things first, trying to get hold of something to pull herself
Give
up.
me just a general athletics check, just to see how.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
I mean,
fair
yeah,
'cause
like
you're in
I say that she knows how to swim, but I mean, she's any good at it because I got a
Let's
big
find out.
old 0. 12.
12, I think, is enough to tread. Well, this is kind of an offshoot river. The main river that goes through Athra is not necessarily where your parents once connected. It's a series of almost forking rivers that come off of it. So it's not heavy running. It's an easy one to kind of tread in. You manage to swim over and kind of grab hold of the dock, and you see as your father kind of looks at, who's that?
Hi, Dad.
Juno? Juno! He kind of leans off the dock, grabs a bit of rope, and he kind of leans it down.
Kind of pull myself up.
Helps lift you, pulls you onto your feet, and he pushes your hair out of your face. And he pulls you into a hug. What are you doing here?
That's
Why are you in the
that's
water?
a great question. That's a very good question. But I'm looking behind me and I'm like trying to see where the others but I think that there should be some others.
Others?
Where are they?
I didn't see anyone come through. Did you? How did you get in there?
Well,
Did you swim underwater for?
no, it's a long story, Dad. It's gonna take a while, but there should have been some others with me. We were traveling together. They should have been here.
Just like scanning
Maybe-
the water. I don't see any. Are they arriving by boat?
No, how do I explain this? Magic is probably the easiest way. Some things have been happening in my travels, and there was a magic to bring us here. And well, I guess maybe I didn't describe it well enough. Maybe they didn't envision the place properly. They shouldn't be too far, but
Say no more. We'll be prepared for them when they come. How did it go? How was your adventures? Did you reach the other
Well,
world?
yes, I did, and still ongoing in terms of my adventures, I suppose. But well, I thought that maybe we could find some answers in Athra, and it was a good chance to come and see you and Mother. So it's good to see you.
You see your mother kind of step out the door and go, Jason, we have 2 more boxes in. Juno?
Hi, Mom.
Juno? She runs across, like, almost skidding in, kind of catches her foot and then runs around to the dock, pulls you in, kind of clasps you. You can see she's wearing, like, the undergarment that she'd put on her armor, having kind of been training recently. She kind of pulls back from you, beads of sweat on her face, kind of her hair pulled back in a tight ponytail.
I would
You're
say as
soaked.
well for like for people like, you know, if we're imagining this like a movie and this is a scene, Andrea, if people were to look at Golden Wisdom and Andrea, there's a really strong resemblance between like the female warrior figure that appears and Andrea's looks. But there's like, you know, the visage is slightly hidden and stuff like that, so it maybe wouldn't be super obvious, but it's enough that like you can definitely tell that this psychic warrior projection that Juno conjures is based on her mother, basically. And her dad has got like a sailor's build, so he's strong, like physically athletic, but he doesn't have that kind of warrior's training that she does. And he looks a lot more like the kind of like real classic Grecian sailing hero kind of thing. And like, you know, with a name like Jason, yeah, he's very much inspired by like Jason and the Argonauts and stuff like that. And yeah, but like, yeah, I'll just sort of lean in, hug them both, and just be like, I don't think I can explain everything. I don't think I should explain everything. There's still things that need to be done, but I'm here, and it's really good to see you both.
It is great to see you as well. First of all, let us deal with the wet clothes. We got plenty more inside.
Oh, yes, I tell you, but I think Juno's like for the first time realizing like the warmth of the weather and just like looks up and just kind of lets the sun kind of fall on her face.
You can see as your droplets of water are kind of already drying on your arms, and you can feel like your clothing feels lighter already from just the amount of heat that's emanating off of it.
It's so good to be back.
You see, come on, let's get you inside. It's a cold day.
Okay. Cold. And then Juno will start being like, let me tell you how cold it, you know, and she starts telling both of them a little bit about Midgard and the other world and stuff like that, a little bit about just the, you know, nothing important, but like little stuff. Like kind of telling them a little bit about it as she heads in with them.
And as you're kind of like heading in, it's not long while you're kind of getting to this conversation that you eventually would hear a sending message in your head.
Okay.
And I believe it's from Eldred, and basically asking, where are you? What's going on? Where did we arrive elsewhere? Where did you arrive?
I would say, Eldred, I am okay. I'm at home. Waiting. Where are you? Are you okay? Let me know when you can.
Actually pretty close to the one that I did in as your character, yeah. You see your kind of parents sit down around the table. They brought out kind of another one of your togas, and you've got all of your clothes still here. They've kept your room kind of clean and open, and your clothing is all kind of washed and ready to go.
A college kid who's come
yeah,
home from
exactly.
Studies, basically. From
yeah, and your parents have
yeah.
not kind of thought to leave your room alone. You see even like your bed's been rearranged a little bit. They've done some redecorating in your room. They both kind of sit down at a table and kind of they pour you some wine, and you have these kind of just snacks, almost like a guacamole kind of stack on the table, and there's almost this kind of little dipping celery sticks, and they sit down.
Olives, all of the olives
for sure. All. Yeah, there's like a perpetual bowl that always gets filled on the table, and you can see as they kind of lean across. Your father says, "Well, if you're home." Things are starting to get stressful around here. And
what's been happening here in Athra and Mesogaia?
Your mother puts a hand on his hand and says, your father should know better than to stress you as soon as you arrive, but you'll ask 1,000 questions otherwise.
And believe me, Mother, it won't stress me out. I've dealt with a lot worse in the last few months, but I need to know. It's important.
I know you need to know. We are preparing for war. There are delegates all across Athra. We have visitors from Kanos, visitors from every single local city. Baroa, Lathion, Helica, Citria, Theta, all of these cities have sent the delegates. They are planning the invasion. It could happen in a week, it could happen in 2. But the invasion is coming. Right now, Athra is very much in a state of... Well, it is the planning stages for the Great War that is to come.
What about the gods? Have any of them spoken to the priests, appeared in the temple, spoken of this invasion, encouraged it, or...
Athena is part of the planning. She is said to be in her temple, speaking to some of the higher-ups. Even Ares has met with Athena to work together. That is the position we are in now. It is unusual. It is strange. We've had Dionysus host a party in the center of the city as a celebration for those who gladly go across the breach to find the enemy on the other side.
I was worried about this.
And the philosophers, they are nowhere to be seen for the most part.
They're not at the academia?
The academia has been mostly shut off. We have had some
That
word
is interesting.
from Heracrates, but he said to us that not to worry, you are fine. But you should seek him out.
Yes, he's the one that I wanted to bring. I mentioned to Dad that there were supposed to be others that were supposed to travel with me. We were traveling via magic, and I think maybe it sounds like they've gotten slightly separated. I don't think they're far, but when they get here, I want them to meet Heracrates, and there's questions we need to find answers to. But this war, you said Athena and Dionysus, they're here in the city? Do you know if any other
Dionysus
gods are
is not
present?
But Ares and Athena
okay.
come frequently. Athena should be here.
Okay. All right.
But why do you care? I didn't think you cared much for the gods.
I don't, but this business, this war, the poisoning of this other world, there's more to it than we realize. I can't tell you too much. I don't want to tell you too much. I don't want you to be in danger. And I know that
Your father leans in, kind of grasps your hand. Then don't tell us, daughter. But are you sure that you are safe?
Yes, I've met some good friends and traveling companions. We have fought together and we've overcome many difficulties. They've saved my life numerous times. I want to try and stop this war before it happens, too many people. I don't want people to die on their behalf. And she kind of looks up, or like looks towards where Olympus would be when she says their behalf. Because they're playing games as usual, and it's worse than normal. It's worse than it typically is. But Mother, are you going to go to war? Please tell me or not.
Your father says I should not. He wishes to sail east or south, further away from the breach. But when they attacked, so many died. Should we not go to war to fight for those that gave their lives in this?
Soldier's pride. I can't say. The difficulty is that I've now been to that place and I've seen soldiers, men and women, just like you, who think the same way. They see it as an attack on them. They're protecting their family, fighting for their kin who died in those battles. It's just going to be a never-ending cycle. You're going to go and fight for those we've lost, and you're going to see them as the invaders, and they're going to see it the same way. But it's all just... everyone's just game pieces being moved around by them. I understand if you have to go and fight. That's something I've come to learn. Something maybe I didn't quite understand about you before. Sometimes there are times when you just have to fight. It doesn't make sense. It's not logical, but you feel it in your heart. And I know that now. But,
I wasn't fond of your trip at first. But looks like you've had many answers to your questions.
I think you would like a lot of the people in Midgard, Mother. They have such a pride in themselves and in their world, and they are great warriors. They're brave, so brave, many of them. And I think you'd like them. a lot. I think you'll like a lot of my friends. There's one I would have loved for you to have met him, but sadly he's no longer with us.
When your friends arrive, we shall drink to his name then.
I should warn you right now, one of my friends is a big talking tree.
They both kind of look at each other.
Yeah.
Okay, honey.
Okay. Well, does he drink wine?
No, water, generally. Just let's get some nice fresh spring, maybe nice spring water from fresh source for him.
All right. Get yourself washed up.
Yes. If it's all right, I'm just going to lie down in my bed for a little bit.
Take all the time you need.
It's been a while since I've had a nice, proper bed.
Get some rest. We'll be here.
Okay. Yeah, Juno's going to go up to her room, get into a familial bed, kind of enjoy the scents, that the heavy sort of like scented, sheets and things like that, and the feel of the bed and things like that, and just kind of enjoy this little moment of solitary peace.
You just kind of embed yourself down to the pillow. You feel it kind of pluff up around you, having not felt comfort like this in what feels like a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, whilst you're resting up, the other group pulling away from their experience elsewhere, you're closing in on Athra. You can now see Orpheus is playing songs and kind of Bedos's request, but gentle, happy ones, no sad ones at all. Bedos is kind of sat there in his clay form, and he sits right at the front, guiding the horses as they lead the cart down. You loom over a hill and you can see Athra in the distance. Athra is centered and built around this great limestone portion in the middle, almost like this kind of small cliff front that goes around in a kind of oval shape. Great, tall, flattened limestone with a massive temple on the top. Stood pretty close to it, nearly as high as the temple, despite it being so high up on this limestone, almost cliff face, is this great, tall tower, the Academia in the distance. You can see the tallest tower has a bridge going out to get up to the temple. Otherwise, winding stairs lead that way. The city itself kind of plummets down the bottom of a hill, going towards a great dockyard with many ships in it, a huge open dockyard off to the west. And you can see outside are a series of blue, red, green, yellow tents. Not enough to fill armies. The armies of other nations didn't come with, but the delegation, some of their kind of minor forces that would have come with them to escort them. But you can see all these kind of war camps that are starting to gather on the outside, and the main road leading in. Bedos kind of, as you cross over the hill, goes, last time I was traveling through, it was, I would say, a third of that many. That was only a few days ago.
Yep.
Well, welcome to Athra, City of Wisdom. The greatest city in all of Mesogaia. Though I am admittedly biased. And he kind of like steers the horses down. You can see where the traffic starts slowing as the merchants are being let into the city. He turns his attention towards all you and says, do you know where you need to be dropped off? If you'd prefer, the gates over that way will be quicker to get into the city. We have to get all of our cargo searched.
But I think we were supposed to go somewhere near the water initially.
Yeah.
So probably something
like-
coastal.
It kind of looks like the place where we met you. A lot like it, actually. Only not.
Huh. Well, if it's a waterside house, then it is likely belongs to a sailor or someone in high regard. So, if you were to go into the city, the main river passes through Athra. It has many forking rivers that go off, small ones. Homes are built all along there.
Do you know, maybe you know the people we are looking for, right? Do you know the Jocasta family? That is her name, her family name.
Jocasta. Athra is a big place, I'm afraid.
That is okay. We can ask around.
If I don't know them, it means they are likely not obsessively drinking my wine. But I would assume that Athra is built in a way that many people like to live near their fellow stations. Sailors like to live near sailors, soldiers like to live near soldiers, sometimes in between. Philosophers like to live closer to the academia. People live in convenience. If you know what they are, perhaps search around for that. Ask for soldiers. But otherwise, you'll be able to find registries and all sorts. Athra is a very, very documented city.
Okay.
But feel free to stay on the merchant vessel or take the side door.
I'll look at everybody else.
I can send a message to Juno and ask her the best way to find her.
And any of you make yourself look like Juno and then go to someone and say, "Hi, do you know me? Where do I live?"
Like
What?
we have
Not.
amnesia?
No, what? Sure. No.
Oh, like you're quizzing them?
No, like.
I thought you meant like, oh, I forgot. I got hit in the head. I don't know where I'm from. Can you help
Sure.
me?"
That's much
What
more
were you
believable.
gonna do? Just like, hey, pop quiz. Do you know
Wouldn't
me?
it be
Do you
just
know...
as easy to walk up to anyone and be like, "Hi, do you know where Juno lives?" At that point, though, you know what I mean? Like, there's really not
Well,
much of
probably
a
the...
difference.
To be fair, I
Don't
think the
speak
easiest.
to many people.
I think the easiest would be Eldred actually just asking Juno her own self where to meet her.
Do you?
Maybe we can get like a cool landmark.
That, yes, because to be honest, I
Yeah.
don't think you three, us four, are going to have any idea of where she's. Oh, if she says, yes, down the main street, take a left at the.
Like maybe we'll find a nice
I
fountain.
feel like
or
is it by
something.
that big tower?
A nice
over there with the-
fountain. Welcome to
Probably a
Mesogaya.
fountain somewhere that is quite nice. You can
Welcome to
try.
Mesogaya.
She knows we've never been here before. She'll tell
Fountains
us.
are like stones.
I'll look
Well,
back at the merchant
everywhere.
guy. Does this gate we just came in have a name? Is this like the whatever gate? We can tell
You were
every
still
time
up
in
on the
this
hill
gate.
coming down. You were kind of stuck in almost like a traffic
Alright.
jam of merchants
Is
that are
the
being
gate
like
we're
searched.
going to go into have a name? Definitely, we haven't gone through it yet.
The one down there? This is the gate of
like the one
Aristotle.
we're going. Oh, of course, the gate of
Okay.
Aristotle. They sound nice.
Yo,
Aristotle.
on this trip, would there have been time to long rest?
Yeah, you could have long rested.
Well,
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah, I
really?
don't mind if you long rest.
Click,
Yeah,
click,
it's
click,
fine.
Well, technically, I could also just cast a spell and locate them specifically at any point in time, as long as they're.
That's creepier.
Then
Well,
we
it
just
is
like show up
creepier,
at their
but
house.
I
like,
don't know if we exactly have a lot of time. Yes, I could use that spell on any of you, just so you're aware.
Why don't I just ask her? Okay, that was
I
a
wouldn't
threat.
do that. You'll go
Do
somewhere
you want
wrong.
to wait? I've got an idea. Do you want to like we could flip a coin to see who wins, or like you could arm wrestle, or like
I do
you know.
not care. You should just message them with your spell.
If you message them to say, "Hey, we're coming to find you," and then you use your spell to find them, it's not weird. They know.
I summon my little ghosty and whisper to it and cast sending. Juno,
We're just fine with that.
we're approaching the Aristotle gate. Give us very easy directions to find you.
25 words.
Okay.
See you soon.
Juno would probably respond, "Hi. From the Aristotle Gate, head straight, find the Fountain of Aphrodite.
There's a
I will
fountain.
meet you there."
I said there would be a fountain. There's just a whole lot
Okay.
of fucking
Yeah,
fountains.
Fountain of Aphrodite. Straight. Perfect. Easy.
Great line.
And
Can't
Joe,
fuck
I'm
it
just I'm just
Hope it's
assuming that,
labeled.
Yeah.
I can make up like
Totally.
there would be
There's
a,
no
Yeah.
fountain
a
of
fountain with
Aphrodite.
a
Got you.
but,
Juno's forgotten at home. There's no fountain.
Yeah, but I imagine like she could just basically give them a landmark like that's like follow that
Yeah.
road from the gate until you get to this thing. I will just come and find you and meet you there. Like that's way easier than trying to get them to my house.
This is the one kindness that I'm going to do in this place because I'm pretty sure none of you know what fucking Aphrodite looks like.
Nope.
No.
No, I don't. Which
Actually-
one is that?
Joe, does Willoughby, was Aphrodite ever at one of the...
Oh,
Oh wait, did you
Definitely.
see her in the vision?
I think she was.
Yeah,
I think she
yeah.
was.
Yeah, 'cause I think
Aphrodite-
Juno would assume that like that Willoughby like 'cause she doesn't know Gabe's new character that well yet, but she would be like I think Willoughby would at least like know like somebody like Aphrodite, like one of the core.
Aphrodite is a hard god to describe for the usual person because she appears to you as you would hope to, or as your kind of greatest desire. So for you, she might have even rather be genuinely something that your former self was attracted to, or however you find beautiful, what your kind of depiction of beautiful is. She appears that way to different people. So, but you would have seen many gods flock around her, kind of trying to impress her at the time. Male, female, any god during those parties and festivals, definitely trying to win her favor.
Okay, which one is she? Like, who's Aphrodite? Which one is she? Which is she the what of the god of? I don't know.
And did Willoughby like point out that he
Yeah,
does
of course.
know who she is or what she looks like at all?
Willoughby would have said that he has seen them before. Because I've seen them among many, well, gods of Olympus here and there, technically.
She's a goddess of love, beauty, sex, many things. Why do you know what she looks like?
Well, I was at the base of Yggdrasil during many of their festivals and parties.
You like
in
worked parties.
Asgard. I didn't
Oh.
work the parties, okay? I was on
joking.
the
You didn't
exterior
work
of
the
the parties.
Oh,
didn't have a lot to do.
so you
I
didn't?
had
You
an
weren't?
idea of you like going through like.
You weren't in close
No.
proximity to Aphrodite, right?
Absolutely not.
I take 3 steps back. Okay, just
What was that?
What
look. Aphrodite's very particular about the people she surrounds herself with, so I did.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
That's.
All right.
I just. Hey,
It's a fucking fountain of her. I'm not. Let's just find the goddamn fountain. Honestly, it's not like she's. What if she's like in the fountain, just hanging out? Like, hey
Nope.
guys, it's my
I walk.
fountain.
You managed to head down the kind of side road, dropping off where the merchants are. The gate here allows people to pass in and out. And so you'd step in through here. The gate of Aristotle takes you through the back, closer to the academia. You can see the great tower and library, almost like almost built like a fortress. It's kind of marbled and way down. Portions of it have pillars as it goes up, stacking together, almost like a Jenga tower. But at the bottom, it's thicker and wider base. You'd wander around that, head straight going down into the city. Athra itself, yep.
As we're kind of like on the car, getting off the car, going in, etc. I just want to kind of keep an eye out, see if anybody's like looking at us funny, because we don't really look like we're from here, and they got a tree man hanging out.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
I'm not good at those. I just would still look. I just want to be clear on this. Let's not have high hopes about this. I like to set shit. Let us say 14.
You get the occasional glance. You can see people looking over, but you realize as you're looking around, in probably more of an arrogant way, Athra is the city of culture. It believes itself to absorb any of the other cultures that come near it and try and adapt and kind of almost accompany them. You can see people walking around in similar furs where they've kind of almost taken fur from Midgard and attach it to a toga. You can see some people walk around totally naked. Other people are in these kind of great flamboyant togas, which have almost like a chainmail effect to the bottom, to almost from Athela. It seems to be a city where people like to show off this kind of form of culture and show off these different tastes of adventure. So you managed to not get as many looks. Willoughby would definitely get a few as people pass by, but nothing that is threatening or concerning. It's a city of inquisitive nature. People amazed and excited to see new things, as opposed to worried and fearful of them. You can see every step you take through Athra is paved, and each of the paved steps seems to have its own little bit of art drawing onto it. It can be simple as symbols or even stick men, but sometimes it's more colorful and broad. You can see the buildings here, though the architecture is very similar, marbled and limestone built, as are the city walls around it, great city walls. They paint their buildings, a lot of blue used, but even other colors. Not as often red, though it is merged into it, whereas the blue is always the more dominant color. But expressions across buildings, great kind of mosaics designed into sides of buildings, which could be even just a dockyard. It is a beautiful city. A clean one as well. There you can see people bathe often. You can see people bathing in the river. And it isn't long before, as you're kind of walking along, that you see this great fountain that almost creates kind of a middle ground for the city. 3 bridges go towards it around this kind of wider part of the river. 3 kind of great bridges that go around to the central bit of this great fountain, which is 3-tiered. And on the top, you can see this clamshell open, and it spins slightly, gleaming this light, reflecting the light of the sun, and creates a blue effect. That kind of almost creates this hue of blue in a probably like a 50-foot radius around it. Couples flirt beneath the fountain. You can see as they kiss, they drop a coin in, and then wander off together. You walk over there, and it's a calming atmosphere around this fountain. You can see you're probably a good 20 feet up from the water as it kind of the bridges bring you upwards onto this platform. And Juno, would you be there waiting for them?
Yeah, I think so. I think because she knows the city a bit easier and would probably have, had more warning to, if they still had to make their way down to the gate, she could have easily just made her way down here. Probably munching on like an apple, just kind of sat by the side, kind of, kicking her feet, waiting for them to show up.
And you see Juno.
I'll just yell.
Oh, hello.
What happened?
So much. This is Orpheus.
He kind of meekly, you see his curly hair and kind of broad hair, and he steps around.
Yeah, he's
side.
coming with us for a little bit.
Hi.
As a Mesogaian, is Orpheus is this like meeting like a famous musician basically?
For sure.
It's just Bono.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
hey.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And especially in Athra, where they would appreciate the art.
Yeah,
more.
like music. Yeah. Juno kind of is like, hey, like cool. So I'm assuming that you met Orpheus.
Juno.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a place there's people down the way, and they have a house that looks apparently a lot like your house.
Okay.
Like a lot like it.
That's frustratingly convenient, but sure.
Yeah.
Lots of derivative architecture around these parts, I'll tell you what.
Hey, now, okay, one obscure house being the same. Come on. And she sort of gestures to the city of Athra, like, come on now.
It's pretty nice.
That's
It's
a little
big fountain.
unkind. I just figured that this would be the easiest landmark from the gate. Like, it's pretty much a straight road. I was thinking of maybe trying to meet you at the academia, but you have to wind
Which
your way
one's
to get
that?
up. The big one. And she
shit,
points
that
to the big
makes sense.
tower. But I figured that this is actually a pretty straight path from the gate, it was easy for me to meet you here.
Do you,
Don't worry about all
live
these fools,
by
and she'll
here?
just gesture at the people kissing and just be like, man, ignore
Yeah,
them.
what's the deal?
Goddess
make out
of
at the
love.
fountain and
Yeah,
put the
goddess of
money
love. Yeah, they're hoping that it's true love. Yada yada. Maybe they get good sex or something. I don't know. No, I live down by the sea. We live out by the port. My father's a sailor, so we live down there.
Wait, did you just pop up at your house?
Yeah, I appeared
Okay,
at
well,
home.
that's
Yeah,
good for you.
yeah, I got to see mom and dad, and I've had a nice quiet moment. Maybe if we need to stay the night, obviously you're all welcome to come and stay at our house. We have a couple of spare rooms at least. We don't have many, but we have a few, and I can put one of you up in my room, and yeah, but it'd be a safe place for us to stay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm taking it that Orpheus here is connected to our big plans in some way, or
Yes.
He's got the
Yes.
That's what I've
He's
been
got
told.
the-
Stumbled upon him on the way here.
He
He
was
was
having a
playing
bit
a-
of a bad day.
Very sad song on a bad day while being hassled by one of the muses.
Okay.
And pretty sure we left a giant snake rampaging somewhere outside the city.
The
But-
guards seemed really like they would be
Oh.
able to handle it.
They'll
If
handle
Are
it.
you sure?
It is okay. Yeah,
I-
it's okay.
I, they can,
It's fine.
No,
It's
they're
fine.
dead.
they're dead?
They're definitely fine. No,
Orpheus
They're
has
not
the shell.
dead.
They danced around that part. It was weird. Orpheus has
no, I
the
said
shell.
it. I said that he has the thing.
Oh,
She did not
right,
hear you.
okay.
Oh,
She got
Fast.
distracted by Tree Man.
Puts it back inside his shirt.
Have a name?
Yes, but
I've traveled with him for months. I'm not going to be distracted by Willoughby. I was distracted by the incredibly famous musician that you are currently traveling with, if
Yeah,
anything.
Sorry,
You're
I'm sorry. Orpheus, this is Juno. We didn't say her name. That was rude. I'm sorry. This is
nice,
Juno.
nice to meet you. And yeah, I
Yeah.
suppose so, but not of my doing. I suppose people just like music. I try not to
But-
show off.
No, but a lot of people do like the music, yes.
Isn't music inherently showing off?
yes.
Is it?
I-
Like, what if you're just like you can't help if you're good at something? What you going to do? Like, be bad
It's-
at it? 'cause
what's the
other
difference
people
of-
are going to feel bad?
Since doing it for an audience versus doing it on your own in your own space.
Right.
Well, that's what I mean. Are you showing off when you sing a song to your own self, or are you just excited in the moment and you sing a song?
Is
Showing
he
off is the
beautiful
intent
showing
other
off?
people believe.
Mm.
Perhaps
You
it
might
is-
not intend to.
I merely just wish to create music. That's all. It doesn't really go any deeper for me.
Typically, I love a debate, and this is a fascinating topic of the intent versus natural inclinations. But we have business, I think, right? We
Yeah.
need to crack on with things.
We
So
met a merchant. He said that like there's way more tents and stuff here than usual than even
Yeah.
a couple days ago. Like, is it
So,
bad? What's going on?
my mother and father have been catching me up. They're Mesogaia is preparing for war. Things that have not happened ever are happening. Athena and Ares are working together to plan for this battle. They have delegates from all of
They
the
don't
cities,
like
the
each
free
other?
cities. No. Very at odds with one another.
Well, I mean, we knew that, right? They were prepared.
Yes.
Like, we
but
knew.
we are on the cusp of the attack being launched.
Oh, like there's a time
Soon.
frame now.
Yes, I don't know when. Nobody seems to know. Maybe we can try and find out, but it will be soon. They are gathering in number, so
So what do? Do we go to your academia, ask around, get some like notes, and then?
well, there is someone in the academia, my teacher, my mentor, one of the 13 philosophers of Mesogaia. He is very wise and very knowledgeable, and I think that if nothing else, he should at least be able to point us in the right direction for where we need to go next. If he can help us. If not, then the academia is a great source of knowledge for us to try and find out. But I think I think he should be able to help us. Hippocrates is a very wise and knowledgeable man.
Can we just like pop in? Do you have to send a message to him or something?
No, my parents said that he's here, or at least he should be here. So my plan is, and I'm a member of the academia. I'm one of its students, and I'm hoping that I'll just be able to go and meet with him and introduce him to all of you, and then we can move on and try and find out these answers. Orpheus, my friends here said that you carry this shell, this conch that can contact a god.
I do. I don't know if I can give it over. It took me quite a bit to win this. And I know you all saved my life. It's just and stopped a terrible thing. And I'm so grateful. I just to part with this is
I think. Why don't you come with us to talk to what what's his name? Sorry.
Herocrates.
Herocrates. Why don't you come with us, and maybe then you will understand a little bit more what we are doing.
Of course,
Yeah.
I owe you an explanation, of course, and I don't want to be a burden or get in your way. Just, it's hard to give up
Yeah.
something that
I understand.
you're holding on to.
I'm not a very good negotiator, so I think that perhaps if you can just come and learn of our situation and what we're trying to do and what we're trying to prevent and stop, and maybe that will be all the convincing you need. But yes, if everyone's ready, we'll just head up to the academia now, unless there's anything else people want, or if there's things that you think we should do differently. That's just my thought of where we should go next.
No,
that
sounds
sounds
good.
But like, if I see a cart with good snacks, I'm going to stop and get some snacks. on the
Oh
way.
yes, I mean on the
Also-
way.
Where is he in that? Like, that looks really tall. Is he up at the top, or is he like midway, or at the bottom? Like,
he
how long do we have to climb?
He could be anywhere. I don't know.
Okay.
He'll be in the grounds somewhere. He
Alright.
wanders. But on the way, let me, and then Juno will start like telling Lena about like, okay, you've got to try the Lathian wine, and you've got to get olives from Baroya and stuff like that. Like basically like kind of almost making like a little shopping list of like things and snacks she wants her friends to try, and like things that she wants to kind of show to each of them and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'd be able to get all manners of, especially vegetables. There's a lot of breads, vegetables, cheeses, olives, onions, garlic used a lot. There's portions where you can walk past. Yeah, you can walk past and kind of get almost like this vendor like food off of people on the streets who are just cooking up, and bring their kind of pots and pans and make little kind of fires and cook for people on the streets. It's a lot of food that's for free. Athra is a very kind of affluent area which tries to feed its citizens. It's kind of renowned for its as opposed to Kanos, which is designed for the survival of the fittest. Athra believes in kind of a together we thrive. So you'll find a lot of the food gets handed out. People share and barter and trade with not much haggling. So as you kind of walk past, you'd be able to pick off olives and taste different delights as you make your way towards the academia. It stands tall, as I said, with a larger base that kind of goes up and tore up this tower. But the gates at the front look closed off. People are not going in and out of the Great Library at the moment. It seems the kind of carpet there is a little bit ragged, but not ragged, sorry, a little bit crumpled. But it's as if it's not been tended to in a little while. But the academia not necessarily seems closed off, but just doesn't seems as if it's unfrequented right now.
Strange. I don't know what has happened, but normally this place is buzzing with people coming and going. People from the city come and, make use of the scrolls and the books and the papers here to read for fun, to learn, to seek knowledge. I've never seen it this quiet.
Maybe everyone's a little rabid with the war fever right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. We can hope. Yeah, and just like when we get close enough, see if there's any people out, sort of, if the gates are closed, is there anybody like minding the gates or anything like that? Or
Yeah, you'd find no guards or anything like that, but someone is sat, a younger lady, maybe like 16, 17, is sat over on one ledge. As the kind of staircase goes up, she's sat at like the lower end of the ledge, just reading a small, kind of almost this leather-bound book that she's kind of flicking through. And slowly, she looks up. Heading inside?
yes, please. If everything is okay, I've never seen the academia this quiet.
Oh, it's mostly silent in there. There's only a few who are deep in study, but ever since the philosophers and they're well, you know.
No, I've been away. My name is Juno. I'm a student here. Can you tell me what happened? What's your name? Sorry, I don't think we've met.
My name is Rella, but I would not say you're a student around here right now. It's not very safe for students. I pass by and get books. I don't pursue
Safe for
knowledge.
students.
Well, if you've been away,
What
then
happened with the philosophers, please?
well, the word that has been getting around to us that's so frequent that the guards haven't got back to us when they were meant to investigate this a while ago, but they've been so distracted, is that 3 of the philosophers have closed off the gates from within the top of the tower, and many of the students have gone. They've been torn away from their studies, their knowledge absorbed, and many of the philosophers left the city.
Knowledge absorbed, like they got their books taken away.
I don't really know how the studies work here. I just read the occasional book and scroll, but there are philosophers and they have certain power. I don't really understand it, but
That's all right. I do. I can explain to my friend, but can you answer me one more question?
of course.
Do you know if Hippocrates is still here? Is he one of the 3?
He's not one of the 3, but he's here. He's one of the only kind ones in that building. He still helps us out. He picked out this book for me, actually.
Good.
She turns it around. It's just kind of a book on the ancient history of Athra and kind of its beginnings in architecture and masonry. I didn't think
That's
reading
a
about
relief.
stone could be exciting. But
He's very good at picking out what the right book. Thank you so much. Things will be okay. Things will be all right. I'm sure that the academia will get back to normal soon. We need to head inside, but thank you so much
It's okay.
for what you've told us.
and she kind of flicks through to find the position she was in the book and just smiles and kind of.
I might like most of my gold, I guess, would be like Midgardian gold.
It's converted over.
Yeah, but I might like I might just maybe like take a couple of like, I don't know, something that like, I don't know if I still have like, maybe I might have like a couple of like Mesogyne coins. I might like press them into her hand and be like, hey, why don't you go get yourself like some nice wine or something from down in the city, like get away from the academia for a few hours. Kind of almost wanting
Okay.
her to like not be in the area, like if things are going down inside, if we go in and you know, stir up some trouble, I'd rather this girl wasn't around.
She tucks it into a little purse and then takes it away. And goes, okay, well then, thank you. And then darts off to find another quieter spot.
Sorry, my friends. I should have guessed that it wouldn't be so easy.
Okay, what is like absorbing the knowledge? They like suck it out of your brain or something?
Well, I think I've explained this before when we met the other philosopher. Golden wisdom, right? You've seen me conjure my
Yeah.
dialogus. It's very simple. It's strength, speed, power. Some of the philosophers' dialogus, they can be unusual. Similar to sorcerers and wizards and mages using magic, right? But some of them have powers that are very different and strange, that can do very unusual things. Absorbing knowledge, maybe stealing memories or something like that. I mean, that could easily be the work of a dialogus.
Shit, that's pretty gross.
There's normally ways to counteract it. For example, golden wisdom is very physical. Golden wisdom can't do things that, they can punch, they can kick, they can, attack and things like that. But the range is limited, right? I can't, attack somebody 100 feet away from me. There's normally a trick to a dialogus. Range is limited. It has a weakness. There's a trick to overcoming it. So,
Do the philosophers like fight a lot? Like, is it weird
Some
that
do.
3 of them would wall off the top of the academia, or is it something that like
Yeah,
no, they got
that's-
pissed about something? It happens
no,
all the time.
that's. I mean, they do fight. They challenge each other, like a debate, right? Like they will argue about philosophy. They will debate things with words, but sometimes dialoguses clash. I mean, a dialogus is a representation of what one believes in, and when a debate gets fierce, sometimes the dialoguses clash as well. But not normally like this. Like normally it's a structured thing. It's normally a challenge, something that you issue like a duel almost. To have 3 of them just shut off the gate or cause trouble like this, no, this is not normal. Before we go in, I mean, if there's anything else I can answer, but it sounds like, I mean, I'm hoping that maybe we can just find Hippocrates and
find
be
your
done
friends.
with it.
Maybe they know what to help us, and
Yeah, we won't have to get involved in all of this. I don't want to add more burdens to our already growing pile.
okay,
Okay,
lead the way.
Go in then?
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Doesn't
Juno,
hurt to go inside.
yep, Juno, open the gates.
The gates open. You can see as you step through. Immediately, you're in this kind of massive, a ceiling that is hard to see the top, as just a series of these kind of libraries which embed the walls as if paintings. You can see the scrolls hanging. You can see bound books. You can see all of these kind of sections. Incredibly well designed. You can see it's kind of labeled in the kind of Greek alphabet as it goes around it, but then also by its genres. You can see that they've got kind of masonry, architecture, all that kind of stuff in its own section. You can see these kind of works of fiction. You can see these works of history. You can see these works of creature craft and magic, and it goes up and up and up and just incredibly organized. You can see portions which kind of like, you can see where the bookshelves themselves almost become like scrolls, and they can scroll down. You can pull down and like almost like blinds and find the piece you're looking for. It must contain thousands, if not tens of thousands of different scrolls and literature. There's tables all around for study. And then, strangely enough, there's kind of corners which are almost like sanded, like a blackened sand, which look almost like fighting pits. You know these, Juno, to be kind of training places for anyone with dialogus and students. And as you go higher up, you can see these almost classrooms that split off in these great kind of doorways that lead off into each one. Mostly archways as well. One big thing you'll see, other than the gate you walked in, there seems to be no doors. All of these classrooms have open doors. The kind of an invitation that you know as Juno is, anyone is open to knowledge. You should be able to be welcomed in and enter any of the classrooms. A few non-students, just people from the public who have come in to take some books and read through things, are sat quietly around, but only about 3 or 4. You would know this, Juno, as many of the public, hundreds of the public would come in and out usually. This is much quieter than it usually is. Roll a perception check as you step in.
Good thing I've got my eyes of the eagle. Give me advantage. Oh, an unnatural 20 on both. 2 11s.
Off to your left, in the kind of corner of the darkness, you can see a little bit aged on the body. His hair kind of unraveled back, but pulled tight at the bottom, almost like rolled up. Toga kind of long, but cut just below the knees. And leaning up, grabbing a scroll, checking it, and then organizing it. It's Hippocrates. You can see as he stood on this kind of ladder that's up against one of the bookshelves, climbs down it, and he's rearranging portions of it, putting things back into their rightful place, and organizing the library. This is a work that's usually done by those of the academia, less so than the philosophers, but he seems to be helping along. He lifts the ladder, walks along, moves to the next section, puts it up against it, and continues organizing.
Okay. I'll point him out to the group and be like, I mean, there he is. That's my teacher. That's Hippocrates. I mean, hopefully we can just speak to him without too much trouble, it looks like.
All right. Do you want to handle introductions?
Yeah, I'll handle the introductions. And then move up to him, like with the group in tow. And Juno would probably like kind of almost not like sneak up on him, but like try and kind of approach him without him noticing too much. And will probably just kind of cough loudly and then say, an interesting question, what a teacher is doing, rearranging the books in his own library. Sort of like look up unexpectedly.
Without looking back to you. A teacher is best when they know exactly where the books they need are at all times.
It's good to see you, teacher.
He turns his head back towards you, and a kind of very warming smile comes across his face, and he climbs down away from the ladder. I did not expect you back so soon, with the world being as big as it is.
As I've come to understand, it is not as big as we think it is. And
Tell me three
one
things
small
you've learned.
pebble. I have learned that laws, though made, can be broken.
This is good
I
to
have
know.
learned that. Give me a minute. I need to check something.
Okay.
Where is it? There it is. Because I want to specifically reference the things that you told me. The ideal man bears the accidents of life with dignity and grace, making the best of circumstances.
This is good to know.
And I've learned that the games gods play have deeper consequences than any of us can know.
This is good to know. He kind of gazes across your friendship group.
Let me make some introductions. I've met some wonderful acquaintances and friends along my journeys. Everyone, this is my teacher, Hippocrates. These are my friends. Some I've only just met, but some I've been traveling with for some time. This is Eldred, Lena,
Lena.
Willoughby, and I believe the newest of the people that I've met, and forgive me, we've only spoken a few times, Genos?
Genos.
And I believe that you, of all people, should already know Orpheus, teacher.
Kind of knows.
Though I have also just made their acquaintance.
Orpheus goes, hello. Well met to you, Orpheus. I appreciate your musics. I'm afraid you've come at a bad time, but that does not bog you down with that.
Yes, I heard about that, but maybe it's something we can discuss. But, I mean, do you have... Is it safe to talk? Can we take a moment of your time?
Only a few desks away, and this room is massive. It's kind of a couple 100 feet long. It's a big kind of base area. Your voices kind of echo very slightly. It is safe. It is safe.
I will look at everyone assembled and say, I do not wish to say anything that any of you do not wish to reveal. I trust this man. I trust him with my life, but I know that he is a stranger to all of you. So I think perhaps our situation is best told by one of you. You will know what you wish to keep secret. I don't wish to say anything that you do not wish to give away.
We have a mind link now. For only 2 hours this time.
Okay.
And I will say in everyone's heads, but you can just say what you are not comfortable saying in front of him in here. And no one will say it then.
I might just... Because I don't think even I know what Hippocrates is capable of. But I might just kind of put a warning message and say, I am not sure if Hippocrates or the other ones...
This guy looks like a fucking chump. See if he does anything.
I don't know.
You trust this guy? Looks like an absolute idiot. He doesn't look very smart at all. I don't know that he knows.
Hey,
anything.
okay, I know that you're trying, but this is my teacher. Come on.
Sabine just kind of gazing across over you.
Okay, maybe it's okay. But yes, I, and this is out loud. Juno's like, I trust my teacher, but teacher.
Knowledge is strength. If you have knowledge which I do not know, then you have a great strength over me. To reveal all of that knowledge is to reveal that strength and lay it bare to give it to me as well. I would advise you to give me only what you need to give me, so that I may aid you. But keep some of it to yourself.
If you give him too much strength, you also may put him in danger.
Yes.
I'll say this. I am an old man. Danger is not something I fear. If I am to die for too much knowledge, then I am to die happy.
I will say over the bond. I think perhaps just the Norns we keep out of it. For the most part. Anything else?
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
I also don't have my notes from the things that we need to look into, so I also
What
need
exactly
someone.
were we coming to? Were we coming to the?
Because there's the other two
help out
parts,
with?
right, that we didn't have the final answers for. There was the other two parts of the
So
Grey
Prophecy.
Sisters riddles, prophecy thing.
I'll look at him and say, okay. There's going to be a war. You can tell, like, I'm not really from here, right? So there's going to be a fight. And we would like to not have that happen, maybe, if we can help it. And so we are looking for a few things
Yes.
that will help us calm things down, hopefully. And we thought maybe if we came, Juno speaks so highly of the academia all the time. We thought, oh, maybe if we stop here, it will help us out. We found one of the things on the way. I point at Orpheus.
This kind of clutches it underneath his shirt. 2 more things then.
2 more things.
Hmm.
We need to go to, well, one, we know where we need to go. I just forgot the name of the town. I could look back. We need to go to,
Talar.
yes.
Hmm.
So we know where to go for one. We need to go to Talar.
Very well.
And then the other, what the fuck am I looking for? Need the guy, this one, okay, the guy that's going to take us to the thing. The second is more straightforward. This one drinks the river, steals mysteries, the mouth spits them out. The drowned one's memories. Do you know anything about the drowned one's memories and like
Ah.
drinking from a river?
Drinking from a river happens in many different tales. Do you have a specific place? It's just so often.
It was the river Lethe, right? I think.
We think
Ah.
maybe, yeah, I mean, I don't know, but
Ah!
I thought that
Juno
it
thought
might
maybe.
be. And there was
Ah.
something about a thing that drank it and spat it back out.
Yeah.
Something
Yes.
like that.
He rushes over and kind of brings his ladder with him and then climbs up into a portion in the creature section and pulls out. It's here
Wish I had my
somewhere.
notes.
It's here somewhere. Ah! He pulls it down. You get the scrolls down. He stops it. Pulls one off. Rolls it. Comes back over towards you. Not this one. Rolls it back up. Walks back over and then pulls it back down. Puts it away. Gets another one. Aha! On Zoto. Yes. The creature, this is from the works of Aradocles. Aradocles recorded the failed trials of those who followed Heracles. Others were trying to win Zeus's favor and copying his trials. One such trial brought them to the river Lethe. Unfortunately, the 3 that traveled there were eaten by the Lethean hydra. This creature is known to drink from the river, its breath strong with acid and pain.
Spits it back up.
Okay.
Does anyone actually have the exact prophecy? Because I don't know where
I
my
have
book
parts
with the
of it
notes
'cause
in.
I have messy
I can
handwriting
link
sometimes.
it potentially. Give me a second to find it.
Thank you. Because
So,
I know it was
are
very
we
specific
okay?
about what we needed from.
I'll say across our bond, are we okay with mentioning the Grey Sisters to him?
I mean, he'll know who they are.
Okay.
Yes,
So-
I think that's fine.
We talked to the Grey Sisters,
Ha!
and they gave us a prophecy. And we are trying to figure it out. So we were told that there are, in the beginning when they started, they said that there were 3 prophecies that would best work with 3 answers, which lie in a drowning soul left underwater. But where? One who drowns knows much and many, but must be found after we find 3 And so, as I said, we found one. We know where to find the other, and now we are trying to find the third.
It
And
says, oh, go on, Lena.
go ahead.
I was going to say the second part was, the second you will need is more straightforward. This one does not hide but drinks. The river steals their memory, but the mouth spits them out. The mouth is not what to worry about, but many, as something drinks from the water, and it will not let you speak to the river. But the drowned one's memories flow freely at the mouth of this river.
Yes.
Is it possible that we could recover this drowned one's memories, perhaps, or something from the Lethean Hydra might be what we've been told to seek out?
It is said that the dead ones who escape from Hades himself fish for their memories. Some of them never to find them as they don't know what they're fishing for. But along that river, though the Lethean Hydra is said to have been one to frequent drinking that of memories, so it is a chance that is there. Otherwise, they get caught up at the bottom of the waterfall as they go out towards the mouth. It is
many mouths from a Lethean Hydra with its many heads. It makes sense.
What's a hydra?
Many heads.
Yes,
I'm
it's
sorry. Yeah, back it up. What? Like how many? Like 3?
It depends on the Hydra.
Depends on how many. Depends on
Like-
the Hydra.
5? 20?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It can
20?
be. It depends on the Hydra.
Fuck.
Hydras are complex beings. Most people's knowledges on Hydras are the ones which have fought against the likes of Hercules, or as you might say, Hercules. The truth is that Hydras are ancient beings. They are children of Typhon himself, the one who is to stand against Olympus. These children have incredible intelligence. None two the same. Each one of them unique, though sharing the similarity of many heads, and also a snakish demeanor to them, as is so often carried by the theatre of the gods. No offense towards you, Genos, though the Olympians are known for their love of snakes, or at least their distaste of them, I should say.
One thing, my snakes are in my hood. Does he just know?
Oh, if they're in your hood, then ignore that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he would be hiding them. He's not walking around with them snakes
That makes
in
sense.
this place. Yeah, I was about to be like, we might have to kill him. Actually, he knows.
No, he would have
the-
noticed
You
that.
could try.
A big water snake with a lot of heads.
It's a beast of.
Just say yes. Just say yes. Look,
Yes.
here's the thing. What happens is they see it, they're like, that thing, and we're like, yeah.
A powerful monster. Think of like the monsters that we faced in Midgard.
Think like if you took 6 snakes and you put them together with a dog, but made it big.
And smart.
Like bigger than the snake we just saw.
Sometimes.
It is
Yes.
a monster, a powerful monster that many heroes have fought and killed in various stories and tales and that sort of thing.
Mesokaya
it
loves
will be a
its
challenge.
many-headed things.
And this one, this guy
True,
failed
actually,
to
we
kill.
do like
Weird.
many-headed things.
Weird.
Well, I think if it's guarding this river, and I think that the Grey Sisters' prophecy seems to suggest that this drowned one's memories we could claim from the river, but the Hydra is likely there and has already drank them or will attack us if we try and fish them out or something. But I think from my interpretation is that we're meant to get this drowned one's memories from the river. In the telepathic bond, I just want to say to the rest of the team, Herocrates may be a good person for us. I mean, I know that we know where we're going, this city of thieves, and we're going after Loki, but I mean, he's a very wise man and he's put together many thoughts. If we have any questions or doubts about a wider picture, or if any of you have anything you want help figuring out, he is a great man to potentially help us.
Okay.
Janos as well, I know that you have things that you are searching for. It may be that he may be able to help. I don't know. And obviously, it's your choice whether you wish to ask, but...
I look right at the dude and say, where's Perseus?
Perseus.
You know.
Oh, you just
Yes,
left.
no, I know Perseus. He has not showed his face since the beginnings of the war talks, as far as not as Athra. I believe he has likely hiding off with the Olympians, taken in their favor. He is very much recognized by them now. Also, might I add, one thing that my research have told me about the rivers and their many gods, though Styx is the goddess of all of them, as they connect to the underworld, all of the lesser ones have figureheads, creatures which are their keeper. It is often the fear of going back to the underworld which makes the undead unable to find their memories. For simply asking politely could get you a long way with those rivers. Perhaps
Interesting.
this hydra is not a wanted member of the riverside. Or the memory is stolen. Can't be good for the underworld. They are meant to be flushed into the sea, never to be found.
So perhaps if this hydra is drinking them and we defeat this hydra, the river may give us what we're asking if we favor perhaps.
Often it is easier
Thank
to
you.
ask someone to fish for you than to fish yourself.
And do you know points where we can enter, where we can find entrance to the river Lethe? I mean, I know that there is probably a place here in the overworld, but I
Is
imagine
there
we might have to.
hopefully one around Talar, which is also where we need to go?
All rivers connect to the river Styx, even if they do not obviously connect via maps. For if you were to follow certain rivers with a destination more so than logic, you might find yourself in a different location. The river Leth's mouth is located, and he walks over to one side and looks through our maps. Our maps are more disorganized than anything else.
I just look at Willoughby.
Yeah, I was
Like
just looking at
everyone
the
shoots
river.
like a look at Willoughby, like, oh no.
So, like, you got to get on any river and be like, no, I want to go to this place, and you'll just go there instead. Even if it is like a north-south river, you could go east. And then I look at Willoughby
The
again.
theory behind it is none would seek out the river Styx or the underworld. For why would you want to go there? And the ease that Styx has done to allow it is that spirits mostly travel the waters, deep within. And it is easier to guide a spirit that is looking for the end than to have them get lost along the way. So, if you are to seek the river Styx, you will eventually come across it. It might take months, it might take weeks, it might even just take hours, but you can eventually get there. Otherwise, he finds a little map of the eastern portion, and he puts it away and pulls down a greater map, walks over to a table and kind of puts these stones on the corners, and you can see the map that's for you guys on the screen. And he runs his finger along. Closer to Talar, the river comes out of the glimpse and falls upon the northern of Misty Bay. It is how they expel the memories of the dead from the underworld. So the mouth would likely be located here, or at least the mouth which would be worth pursuing. So it is closer to your other destination anyway. Otherwise, there's
What's
always
the
dealing
glint?
with one of the river keepers.
The river keepers.
Well, we don't partake in it here, personally. We like to keep our knowledge on a more mortal basis, but there are the likes of Caron, who can be bought. There's multiple stories of heroes trading coin, making...
Like, trust money?
Yes. Charon transports the spirits of the dead to the underworld along the Styx, but normally 2 gold coins placed over the eyes is generally most people will pay, but that's for the dead.
the living
But
Is there
custom.
Cat-
a
Caron-
public rate for people that are alive?
There's a higher rate, yes, especially
Does
for
it take us
those.
back?
Mm-hmm.
Is it one
In the
way?
stories that I've heard, it's one way, but that's stories. It's more dramatic that way, right?
Besides, you're not
you
trying to
know.
go into the underworld. Perhaps you do a discount, if you can reach him. Though, I always would refer to a map before I would ever refer to the magic.
Speaking of maps, is there a district in this academy that I could kind of pour over some things before we leave.
Like a map section.
Like a map section.
Oh,
yes.
this entire he pulls down. You see it start pulling down, and it's hundreds of map scrolls all embedded into one of the bookshelves.
Ooh.
My
A
friend
light
Willoughby
beam
is
shines through a window.
yeah.
Listening
Oh,
on the rows of map.
You are a
At
cartographer,
last.
or just
Yeah,
a map
he is
enthusiast.
an exceptional
No,
cartographer.
his maps are really
teacher.
good.
Then, as we do to any scholar or one who studies a craft so often worshipped here, if you would ever like to add any of your works to our library, we would be happy
Shit.
to take them.
You could make a copy for the library here. That's cool.
Perhaps one day.
We'd be grateful. Maps, especially. It is easier to write literature than it is to mark depictions of the land. One can be done from the comfort of your home, the other takes a lot of walking.
What's you said the glimpse. What's that?
The glimpse is,
Is that bad? Is that good?
you do not want to go near the glimpse, but the range of the
Okay.
glimpses caused a nasty portion of the land to go dark and grim. It is
Oh shit.
the dreams of one sleeping god, a god of dreams.
All
Of
right.
Hypnos?
Hypnos.
Hmm.
His dreams cause the
Are
cracking
they like
of the
leaking
ground.
out or something?
They do. They do. They leak out of the glimpse. Though, it is fine. There is no, as far as our records go, we have no towns or cities nearby. The closest would be Tala. So, it is not like it is a dangerous place for you to sleep for the night. You
Does it
just
get
avoid
bigger? Or is
We-
it like always
I'm-
the same size?
I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on it. You'd have to speak to someone who is studying it, I'm afraid.
Sorry, I
imagine-
just was curious.
No, of course. The thing about scholarship is you can always learn more.
'Cause I get
Teacher,
it.
can I ask you something? Just more of your opinion, or perhaps your theory.
Hmm.
The world has been changing a lot. I've seen it in Midgard, and I'm beginning to see it here, as if something is amiss in the weave of the world.
Hmm.
And this business with the poisoning of the life tree in Midgard. What do you make of it all?
You search for the answers to how this all started, to how to stop this. Surely, if the gods were as powerful as they are, as all knowing, one of them would have the answer. If I'd have a theory, I'd say a lot of the gods are quite content with the state of the tree in the world.
Yeah, I have a question then. On our side, we think that that you caused the damage. It's all your fault,
Hmm.
and you fucked us, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happened on your side? That we're just mean and like there was a hole opened in the world and we're going to come through and attack you, or
A couple of decades ago, you did. And the way that your warriors fought, though we have some accurate descriptions, and it is not always good to pay attention to the words of bards and singers, though they were the first to document them. They were seen as savages, beasts, creatures walking on their hind legs, great warriors, more hair than bears of the southern land. You were depicted as monsters. And if there's one thing that is true of Mesogaians, it's they quite like slaying monsters. Both the gods and the mortals alike. So on our side, it is less so a fear of what is to come. Maybe for some, and more of an adventure. They wish to go and slay the greatest monster of them all. This other world.
So do you think that if we follow this prophecy, if we figure out what happened to the tree, if we take care of it, you think we would fight anyway? If the opening is there, they'll just fight no matter what?
Sometimes it is not. The answer is not there to solve or fix things. It is there to understand things. You might get to the end of this and understand it all, but have no way to fix it. But it is better that the truth be known than lies shielded. Don't go into this with the intention, well, go into it with the intention to fix. But if you cannot fix it, do good with what you can share. I don't know. Perhaps you can mend the ties. Right now we have two of the most fearsome rivals speaking on equal terms up in the temple. If you were to ask me 6 months ago, 20 years ago, the same question, I'd have said to you, there is no way that could be fixed between them. It is in their nature to hate one another. I will hope I'll be wrong in another 20 years from now. Just keep doing what you think is right.
Do you believe in fate?
I don't. Oh, I do. I believe that fate can be done. The same way, if I was to drop a coin from the top of this tower, I know it would hit the ground. But sometimes it might hit a person. Sometimes the wind might carry it further than I expect. I know that fate is a fancy word for gods intervening with the potential and the future of people. But I don't think this is some magic that they've pulled from the sky. Who determines the fates? How did fate happen? What causes something to be written in an unwritten code? Why can we not see this? Why cannot we change them? I believe that there are creatures which change the course of your lives against your will, like I did to that coin. However, I do think that this is not magic. This is simply God's intervention. The same with prophecy. Luck is often seen as a power beyond our understanding, but those who believe themselves to have greater luck often do. Perhaps prophecy is just comes together because people seek them. They want them to be true. Or they want them so badly not to be true that they do everything they can that it ironically always becomes it. Oftentimes, those who write prophecies know the actual answer. They know that they could spout it out in easier language, probably solve it themselves and give you the direct answers. But everyone likes a riddle. I imagine the Grey Sisters and their prophecy towards you was less so a prophecy and more like a grocery list.
A game.
A game. And because you've heard it, you want to seek the truth of it.
They are a tool, a means to an end.
Yeah.
And we have a task ahead of us, and they have given us a direction.
A way to find the answer we need.
Ask this, do they come out better in the end?
Most certainly.
Then their prophecy
Depends.
is likely going to be true. They told you the truth. As long as they get something out of it, you can follow their prophecy and it will feel like fate. And in actuality, it was just the will of the sisters. And the will of anyone that does the same. But what do I know? I read books and listen. I don't know the answers.
I'm too tired to think of a clever question to ask, so I'm done. I think Juno will just kind of reach out to take Hirokati's hand, and just like, kind of put her forehead to it. Thank you, teacher. As always, your guidance and wisdom is what we need. Is what I needed. I still have so much to learn, so much to understand.
Less than you think.
But it will never stop.
Well, anything more I can do for you?
I don't know about my companions, but I would like to know what happened here. Even if
Yeah.
we do not have time to help.
Are you like
or...
fighting the people stuck at the top or something?
I heard the three have closed off the academia. They are absorbing knowledge.
Socrates, Protagoras, and Parmenius. The three of them. And while you are in no immediate danger now, they have not left the tower in 3 weeks, 4 weeks since it happened. They called together a meeting. They brought in 30 of the 38 students. Thankfully, you were away. All 3 of them wish to give a lecture behind closed doors, the only closed door on the tallest part of the tower. And when every single one of those students arrived, so thankful to be invited into the tower, each one of them summoned their lesser dialogus, however they depicted it. All of them in training. And each one of them was absorbed by the 3.
That's fucked up.
Myself.
Why?
Like,
We don't know. The tower is now guarded up there by a dialogus beyond our reckoning. The knowledge that
Wait,
swarms there is impossible to get through, and they have not come out since.
what happens, Juno? What happens if someone takes golden wisdom from you? What happens to you?
I mean,
Are
it
you
is.
okay.
It is. No, I would not be okay. Golden wisdom is a representation of my mind. It is a representation of everything I believe in. It is a representation of what makes me me. It is my
Juno,
persona. It is.
Juno. You will still be you if you lose it. As one who knows.
How can I be? I would be. I would be nothing without golden wisdom.
No,
Did they take yours?
not
That's why
them.
you're down here.
Teacher.
Myself, and Plato. When we heard of what happened, we attempted to go up to the top of the stairs, but we couldn't get through their dialogus. I believed that we could research the knowledge in here to try and find a way through. Plato had other beliefs. He spoke to the other philosophers. Many of them started fearing one another and the theft of the dialogus of one another. So they started
That's
splitting
why
up
they-
to find knowledge elsewhere. They all left,
That's why nobody's
city.
here.
and Plato went with. All of them splitting up to go all different directions to find it on their own, arrogantly. And I remained, because I knew that these 3 would not come down from the tower. Whatever they wanted, they built a defense up there that was impassable. So, I was safest underneath them. Here, surrounded by knowledge, is where I let my guard down. What I didn't realize is that it wasn't just the 3 of them. For one of the students that went up there did not come down without a dialogus, but came down with a different one.
You
What?
can take someone else.
I was exhausted. I was reading so much, I was barely sleeping, as I could not function properly, and I was challenged. Looks towards you, Juno. I think you know the name of the one.
No. Diocles.
Diocles indeed.
But he was not. He could not have beaten you. He could have. How much power did they give him? He was barely in training. He was no stronger than me when I left.
I was exhausted. He used techniques and knowledge I did not know. He was stronger than
You
I
can
expected.
put-
I
Is
didn't-
he still
A
here?
dialogus into someone?
You can power someone's. No, he went where all thieves and cutthroats would go.
He's in Talar.
Isn't
He's in Tiller.
is he your friend, Juno? You know this person?
He's a bully.
Oh.
One that I put in
Of
his
course.
place many times. He would bully and torment other students. He's rich. He comes from a wealthy family here in Athra. And he tried to do the same to me, but you know what I'm like. I did not let him. And we were rivals at best.
Why would they send him to Talar?
If he has knowledge of how to steal Dialogus, and remember, Dialogus represents power, thought, belief. I fear that it may be connected to other matters.
Well, I
But-
mean, if all of the scholars here decided to go their separate ways elsewhere, who knows if he wasn't sent after someone?
Could very well be that as well. Or perhaps to find something. Perhaps he's become a servant of these three at the top of the tower, but... teacher, I wish I could stay and help, but I think that I can't.
You have
But-
your own mission. You have your own responsibilities.
I do.
I'm sorry. So, if you can take the dialogus from someone else,
This is
and
not.
you can become
This is not known knowledge. To take someone's dialogus is not something that is happens. When you defeat someone, you
could
might gain knowledge from them, but you don't lose your dialogus in the process. It is a worthy matchup. We would not fight if it was a case of stealing from the other. It is learning from the
So
other.
now
We're better off
that
each
we
other.
now that we know it is possible, what could you take from a god?
Potentially everything they know.
Close
And
my
if
hand
it-
around the coin in my pocket.
Gods. I mean, I used to think that they were like concepts. That they are the things that they are. That's not so different from a dialogus.
It is not.
Teacher, I have my own path, but our path will take us to Talar, and I can't promise anything. I don't know where our path will take us, but if I have the chance, I will get you back what has been stolen from you.
And when you do, which I know you will, when you're done with this, I might need your aid in finding all of the others.
Yes.
Learn from them. Socrates has to be stopped.
Yes. I will. I will.
Good. Well, for now, focus on what you have. Don't be burdened by my knowledge. And if you are to go after a hydra, I don't need a book to tell you it is very dangerous. Make sure you're prepared.
I know that the hydras are all different, but
Maybe
is there
this one only
any
has 5 heads, right?
weaknesses? Or, is there anything that you might tell us that will help us?
This is a misconception for hydras. Some believe that cauterization can cut off and stop them from regrowing their heads. But not all
Wait, what?
regrow their heads.
Mm.
Hydras, most of the information we have about them comes from this one that Heracles defeated. His one When you cut off one head, 2 more grew in its place, and he learned to cut the head off, cauterize, until there was no head remaining. But this is a misconception. All hydras grow their heads in different ways. But all hydras can lose their heads in certain ways. You just have to find the weakness of the certain hydra you're fighting.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Figure it out.
if a hydra hasn't been killed, I can't tell you the weakness.
No, it's good to know. Thank you, teacher. Means that we go in prepared and that we have to
Keep
figure
observing.
it out. Yes. Thank you. If there's nothing, my friends, if there's anything else that you want knowledge of, if there's anything you wish to ask my teacher, otherwise perhaps we should rest and then seek out a way to travel to this, to find this Lethe, to find the river.
We go to Tila, right? We see what we need to get there, and then it's
Yeah,
close.
it's true.
We go to the mouth.
Well, I happen to know a sailor if we want to take a boat. Will we?
So can I like check out these maps like a library, or do I have to kind of memorize it here?
One thing that we know in Athra is that olive oil leaves some grubby marks. We like to keep copies of pretty much everything we have here. We have stores away, 3 or 4 copies of everything here.
Shit.
Feel free to take one.
I would deeply appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Our
What-
wish in Athra is that if you are to take knowledge, you leave some behind as well. As we may copy it and our library grows.
Yeah, will be.
Oh boy. All right, I might need a
Wonderful.
couple of minutes.
Can
I
we?
think.
Is it really he can only take one? Like, can I take one too then? And then I just look at Willoughby like,
One
You
of the
wanna take
same
two?
ones?
no, like, what if we wanted to take like a different one? Is that okay?
This can be done.
Okay.
We have everything in copies, but again, like I said, only 3 or 4 of each. So try not to take the same one too many times. We don't, especially not now. In usual times, we could get something manuscripted or charted up. In
I have spent
a little time.
I have spent many days basically copying works. It's student work, especially as a punishment. And she kind of looks at Herocrates when she's like, when students are perhaps being punished, they're made to copy books or
teaches
scrolls
patience.
or maps.
And sets good goals.
Mm.
And I guess good handwriting. It's probably you
Oh.
probably have really good handwriting.
Our
from-
students have the best
copying,
calligraphy
right?
allowed.
Willoughby is going to pull out the maps that he had handmade and had been using in Midgard prior to him collecting his Yggdrasil map again. So these are like unique copies that he used to navigate because he hated using anyone else's maps.
He looks across to
And he'll
us.
leave those there.
This is phenomenal. Do you know that travelers have headed to Midgard, and the estimation is that not in my lifetime would we ever see it mapped. The amount of hills and mountains and places to climb. Not to mention the harsher conditions. This is more than a fair trade.
Glad to hear it. I certainly spent a lot of time traveling around to make all of that.
Well, we'll make copies and they'll be here for you when you return.
Very good.
Do you want to put a name to those maps, Willoughby?
You know what? That seems like a good idea. Willoughby will put down his real name on the map. Because up until now, this was a personal copy that he wouldn't have written anything on because they were just for him.
All right. I'll organize it under your name and organize it under cartography. Is there anything else
I want
you require?
just a wonderful addition to the academia.
Beyond what we could hope for. Thank you.
Of course, thank you for all the help.
Well, I think if there's nothing else, my friends, looking at Eldred and Janos just in case, All right, we'll leave you to it, teacher. I'll return as soon as I can.
Good. There's many things to be copied.
I hope that I've earned a few respites from such duties, but we'll see.
You have.
Thank you.
All right. Be careful with that.
I will.
The greatest questions often have the harshest answers. All right. Where was I? And he points. Walks off with his ladder towards the section he was working on.
Juno just kind of watch him sadly for a bit. And then just turn.
How are you doing?
Yeah, let's head. We should probably rest before. I mean, actually, saying that, I don't know how tired. I don't know how your journey was. I guess we figure out what we want to do next. Do we want to go to Talar? Do we go by
Should
boat?
we go to your house to talk? Because it will be a
Yeah,
little
we can
quieter
do.
And maybe
Place to rest if you want. It's comfortable, and I think my parents would like to meet many of you. But yeah, I can take you there now.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah.
Slipping out of
will
the
lead them.
academia, it's quite dimly lit inside. It's kind of a cozy vibe. So it feels almost like that experience of coming out of like a cinema after spending so much time in there. And you get kind of hit by the light, and you can see it's a bright day, people gathering around, wandering the streets. And you get the chorus of voices of people chatting. As your group and Orpheus head out onto the street. We'll take a quick 5-minute break there so you can go stretch your legs, refill your drinks, and we'll be back with the rest of episode 43 in just 5 minutes. All right? BRB. All right, chat. Yeah, what Mark's saying is true. I didn't know much about JoJo at all. He introduced me to the world of JoJo. I haven't watched it, admittedly, but I probably will after the campaign to see. So I don't know about this arrow. All right, everyone's getting back in their seats, so we'll unmute in a second. Okay. Well, I'm muting for 30 seconds, chat. Bring things back up and get back into the episode. Okay. Let me bring the music down. Bring the Athra music back up. And then... Hello.
Tron's character sheet.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How was your break? Was it good? Did
Yeah,
you have a good time?
It was great. It was great. I mostly just turned on my aircon so that my room doesn't melt me.
You have aircon?
I've got a weird, like,
You live in the UK. What
Yeah,
are you doing
like a
with
portable
aircon?
you can get a portable one, and it's like this big machine. It's like a fan. You stick a tube out the window, and it's amazing. Summer
That is
becomes
such streamer purchase.
yeah. Oh,
Like, I
it's
live in a sweaty box with a
Yeah.
PC on all the time. I need an aircon unit.
when it gets so stuffy in England, it is the best thing I've ever bought ever. It's amazing.
Oh, it's pretty good.
It's very cold. So, bring us back up into things. You've just slipped away from the academia and entered into the general town again. You see dozens of people around, kind of walking up towards the fountain not too far away from you, some of the houses being frequented, some people debating in the streets. Athra is an area where there's entertainment on every corner. People trying new things, some people screaming poetry at one another. You can see some people performing plays out on the streets. Others debating philosophy. Some training, but off to one side. Always a spectacle off the kind of corners and alleyways that you find around the city.
All right. I grabbed more snacks on the way back.
Yep, you can get all
It's
sorts.
always chomping.
That's a good point, actually. If there's also things that if there are supplies or if we want to buy new weapons or armor or things like that, this is probably a good place to do it. I mean, Athra is a big city and there are craftsmen and artisans of all kinds here.
Is it hotter than this in Talar? Or is it like...
Probably would it be hotter towards Talar? I think so, right?
Yeah, it's further. It definitely is closer to kind of desert and warmer climates, but it's also pretty heavily misted up around Talar from the kind of coast, which creates kind of almost a water fog, which definitely cools down the area. But it's very humid. Different heat.
I mean, all of Mesogaia is, it's going to be as warm as this pretty much wherever we go. But also, there will be people here who likely maybe have, potions or enchanted objects and things like that. It could be a good opportunity to stock up before we head out.
Obviously, we don't have to actually do this, but I'll grab like lighter, non-Midgard heavy clothes. Something more suited so that I'm not just like, oh, this is so gross, I hate it.
Yeah, it only costs you a couple of gold to get a full outfit. If you want to get something really simple and sweet, like a toga.
Yeah, minimal. I mean, it'd still be like real bland, like just to
Yeah.
be able to.
I'd probably
think
like
through
help
crowd.
Lena find something as well. Like maybe actually something with like short, like almost like capri pants kind of thing,
Yeah,
but, like
yeah,
mixed
like
with the
can
toga.
I dodge shit in it and like
Yeah.
I want to find a black toga.
nice.
Yeah, you could definitely find one. You'd find like this. Most people just buying out the white ones with trimmings of different colors, and this kind of black ones at the back section of this person's kind of their shop has like almost these different togas that are hanging up. You see this one over, like no one's touched it. It's kind of usually frequented by kind of high affluent partiers and whatnot. And this kind of smaller shop gets a beautiful one, which kind of comes down
Actually-
with like gold trimming.
While Eldred is getting that, could I find maybe a jeweler and find like a nice, because obviously with like togas you often need to have clasps to hold
Yeah.
them on. Can I find like a symbol of Hecate?
Yeah.
Of like a nice silver or like one for Eldred to have if she's gonna have like a nice toga.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Definitely
I'll
can.
buy that. And,
a beautiful kind of silver.
I'll present it. Maybe I'll give it to her like when we get back to the house. But like I'll buy that while Eldred's kind of separated, buying clothes.
Yeah. Okay.
How much for the toga?
Only 1 silver. Very
Okay.
cheap.
But yeah, if there's no like actual like if we don't want to do a shopping episode, I'll just lead everyone back to Juno's house.
Yeah, if there's
Come
any
meet
other
Mum and
supplies
Dad.
you need in particular, just tell me.
I think Willoughby just travels light. He doesn't really eat a lot of stuff.
Maybe before we
Literally
head
doesn't
out.
eat food, so
Yeah.
Oh, I'll grab a 300 gold diamond
Yeah, you could probably find one of those in town. Athra is the place to find it.
or
if you find
store or
it.
something.
Yeah.
And I might go just before we leave. I might just try and buy like if I can get like a greater healing potion or something like that. I might try and get like a decent healing potion or something.
Yeah, you could probably pick one up for 200 gold if you buy.
Yeah, I've got that.
Great healing.
I will put that down. Greater healing. Yeah, cool. Just so it's nice to have like
Yeah.
that as a backup
Yeah.
because I go down a lot. So nice. Yeah, but if that's it, then I will just lead everyone down to the ocean, down towards like away from the river, sort of coming down closer towards the ocean's edge, and take them home.
Yeah, you know the streets here. You get there's a portion where you're walking through the city and you can look off and you can see the warriors gathering at the bottom of the temple and you can see different people training massive forces of soldiers. Athra has an army that is one of the largest in all of Mesogar. And so you can see thousands of soldiers training and gathering together, eating. But you manage to pull away from that as you get into the kind of rural section of the city and the beautiful kind of, as I said before, affluent through its respect, less so than general coinage. Jocasters are well respected in this area. You can see the home they live in is a nice, beautiful area just off of the river and the sea, and quiet. They get grassland around as well, but the paved stone leads them around to it. Once you get,
It's not. Yeah,
Yep.
I'd say it's just like it's not like mega rich people's house, but it is clearly like upper middle class kind of
Yeah.
like not like super duper rich, but
and
they do well.
It seems like it's almost as well. This kind of position of the land is also given to soldiers or sailors with high regard. There's a kind of a respect to the land here. Not everything is bought through coin, but also your
Yeah.
position. And so, as you kind of get towards the end, you get closer to your house. You see the dock, and you can see your father's finally lifted the last couple of boxes onto there. And he stops. He takes out a wine skin and he opens it, pours it in his mouth, wipes a bit of it on his face to let it dry, and looks across to you. Juno!
Hi, Papa. I told you I'd be bringing them. I told you, and I gesture at Willoughby.
Yeah, he
like,
He
true
walks
man.
straight towards you, Willoughby. I'm sorry to stir. It is rude of me. We don't have the pleasure of seeing such beauty in walking form here.
Oh, thank you very much. It's nice to meet you. My name is Willoughby.
Jason. I'm Juno's father. I'm sure she has spoken all about her times as a young adventurer on the seas.
Nope.
Once, actually.
She was always closer to her mother. Much better at the fighting side of things. Though, it may be a little better if she'd spend less time with the books.
Yes.
But you
I
should
know,
see her tie
I
a knot.
know. That was one bit I could do. It's just that when we get too far out, I don't like it. But that might be changing. I have a cool thing I can show you, Father. But later.
Oh.
But yes, would it be all right? I started making up some of the spare rooms, but I think that we may need
your mother
to
and
rest
I
for
have,
the evening.
have made room for everyone. We
Oh.
expected you
Thank
to
you.
bring him back. Though I have to ask you, Willoughby, I'm not sure. Would you like a bed to sleep in, or
Oh, no, I don't sleep.
don't sleep? If Juno could trade her places with you, she'd read all the time. We'd catch her late up night, not resting at all, sitting down reading scroll after scroll.
Okay. Yep.
She
Thank
is
you.
awake
Yep.
Often before we are, and then when I wake up, she's doing like all sorts of exercises and stuff.
I mean, you sleep quite a long time, Lena. I mean, you
That's
know,
because the
you're
mornings
missing
are
out on the.
terrible.
No, you're missing out on the beauty of
I
a
like to.
morning.
It's like nice and comfy.
Beauty
not
of
when the bed is
morning.
red.
Don't listen
Yes.
to her.
Look at Aldred, like, see?
Sleep is the best part of the day.
Yeah, see?
I miss
Sleep is
being able
good.
to sleep.
Me too.
Anyway.
Terrible. I hate sleeping. It's bad.
I used to
and
get woken
boring.
up at every morning by the two of them.
Let me do other introductions, Father. This is the chatty one is Lena.
Lena.
This one is Eldred.
Eldred?
This is a newer acquaintance, but a rather interesting one. This is Genos. Genos. And then I will be like, also try not to freak out, but also Orpheus is here.
Poor Orpheus.
He just looks like behind you, and he's always like trying to stand at the back
Hey,
and
Mom
like
and
hide.
Dad,
Oh,
I've just brought Bono. I've just brought like Adele home with me.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, this is my new friend Adele.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, exactly. So,
The Orpheus.
bird.
And you see Orpheus go, hello there,
try not
Mr.
to make a big deal of it.
Jocasta.
It's fine. It's fine. Just don't worry about it. Just act normal. You're embarrassing me. Shut up.
I see him all the time. I used to watch every time he came through. Orpheus, the depiction of your the love between Ares and Aphrodite. It was
Oh, it are they
So
a
pure.
thing?
you don't know the story. Orpheus, would you sing
No,
us
I
this?
don't.
I
Oh, you don't have to sing it. You can just give me like the short version
I
if you
just-
want. It's okay.
Is it sad?
I gotta check something.
It is sad.
Yeah, maybe you
No
can tell it
sad.
later, Father. Around dinner, you and Lena can have some wine and you can tell
Yeah,
all
I'm
the.
sorry.
Yeah.
We should
But
go
he does
sit
it
down.
from
I
three
just like to
perspectives.
like.
You should see him. It is a delight. It puts the very
Oh, it's
wind
so
in my sails.
embarrassing.
Orpheus, come inside. I'll get you some wine. Come on. And he kind of takes him off. He kind of looks back a little bit. Oh, okay. Leads him inside. You can hear.
Orpheus is sitting at the head of the table tonight.
You can hear the grunts like ha, ha, and you can hear the clanking of kind of like metal against a straw, and puffs of smoke up from around the side of the house.
Let me introduce you to my mother, and then I'll take everyone around to the back. Just so you can meet her, and then we'll sit down and figure out what we need to do next. I'll sort of go around, bring everyone around to the side, and she'll be like, "Mom,
So you stop,
we have
flip the
guests."
spear up, and then just throw it straight through the chest of the straw training dummy.
Oh shit!
And she puts her shield down. You can see she's wearing a breastplate. And she unties it, puts it down to the ground, leans her hand through her hair, and kind of pushes it back. So your friends arrived. Which river did you pop up in?
It was like that. It was on the other. There was a quarantine. It was on the other side.
Okay.
He's the map guy.
Yeah, it was. Well, we will say the name of the river because he would probably now have clocked it from the amount he researched the maps.
Ah. Huh. A little bit of a distance, a little bit of a offshoot of magic. Well, I don't know if my husband told you, but we've made up the house for all of you. We should have 5 slots beds, and
It's very kind.
Willoughby, we made you up a house.
You made me up a.
A bed. Sorry, we made you up a bed. So we didn't know if you would need to sleep in one or not.
Oh well, I do not sleep, but I do appreciate the thought.
Well, that's okay.
Well, everyone, this is Adriana, my mother. This is Willoughby, my point of Willoughby, and Lena. I do the introductions basically of like, and this is my mother. And yeah, like for like everybody here, I think, because although I don't know if Genos has seen Golden Wisdom yet, but everybody who's seen Golden Wisdom would definitely clock the resemblance between the two. Especially with when Adriana had her breastplate on as well and stuff like that. Like, yeah, she's kind of got the long hair flowing out the helmet and stuff.
So, this is the group you've been traveling with.
Yes.
Which one of you is the fighter? One of you a warrior?
Well,
I look at Juno.
I've not had the pleasure of seeing Genos in full combat yet. I don't know, and but we've all been through some scraps. Unfortunately, the one who is probably the most warrior-like, sadly, they're not with us.
We should
Not
drink
anymore.
to them. With
He
wine.
went home.
Yeah.
As we all do, eventually.
No, like literally.
Oh, I thought for a moment he might have died.
He did.
Oh.
He got better.
Okay.
This isn't the joke. I do.
I laugh because I'm confused, not because I find it funny necessarily.
Well, he was essentially what people would consider undead already, anyways. He was when I met him.
I see. Well, we'll drink regardless in his name. We drink to his
Drink
good.
to the to
his memory.
something like that. Yes, but we've all been through some scraps. I mean, I've, Willoughby has powerful magic. Eldred is incredible and can conjure up spirits and magics. Lena I've seen vanish into nothing, like basically just poof from sight, and very skilled with a blade.
Malaka, you're a ghost.
It is more like if I don't want to be seen, people don't see me. I can also blend into a crowd pretty well.
Huh.
And I'm gonna look at
And
Juno's mom,
you're a
and
good
then
shot
I'm
with a
gonna
bow. Oh.
Look like Juno.
So you could have done that literally when I mentioned it a while ago?
But that
we could
part
have
of the
just
plan didn't matter at all. Was the point?
Yeah.
You acted
And
like
then I
it was
look like
impossible.
myself again.
That is a neat trick. Are you Promethean?
It's pretty. No, what's that?
Mom, they're from Midgard. They're
I
not from
forget.
here.
Mom. Wait,
Mom.
what's Promethean?
They are.
Wait, do you have people that can do that here too?
They. You can. You're hard to see them. Many of them don't go around in their usual form. They are made of clay. They mold their bodies. They are the children, or not literally, of Prometheus.
Wait, they look like.
Their form is mostly clay, but they can look as ever they wish.
But the merchant that brought us here looked like clay.
Prometheus.
Oh shit!
A lot of the
Ooh.
children of the Titans are not beloved by the gods, so a lot of them don't reveal themselves.
It's true.
I mean, I tend not to reveal myself either, really. So
Athra is a curious city. You'd get by with showing yourself more here than you would in some other places. The Titans are still a sour subject, even in these times. So, what is it you all do? Are you on a great odyssey?
Well-
I'm hot.
Good question.
I should not answer this question.
No, you should now.
I was told that last time I answered this question, they were like, "You shouldn't just say that."
You really shouldn't. But
Well, now
you
I'm
kinda
curious.
Started now.
yeah, like
I'm an assassin. I am hired to kill people.
Oh. And how does that pay?
Well,
I imagine so. Well, To think
I don't know
my
what the hells they do.
We're kind of solving problems at the moment.
We solve problems.
Yeah, I like to find things out and
Don't.
quietly walk around.
Oh, but I had to say I kill people. But
Are you solve problems for the betterment of people? I assume you are on the right
That's
side.
what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but wouldn't everyone say that? Doesn't
Let me
everyone
put it
think
this
they're
way.
doing that?
Your daughter agrees with us, so it must be the right side, right? Because she's pretty smart.
Unless you've led her astray, in which case, I'll make sure none of you go home.
I've known her for 3 days.
I don't really know we could pull something over on her like that big.
It's fine,
She'd
Mom.
figure it out.
All right.
And no, they're good people. I think so anyway. I've been with them through some pretty tight scrapes, and we've looked out for each other. Genos excluded, we've not had that opportunity yet, but I'm sure we will get to do.
I've only heard good things.
Yeah. Yes. But we might. Is it right? I might take them just to have a quick chat in private while you and Dad sort of get ready for the evening and things.
Of course.
We need to figure out our next steps, but I wanted you to meet them before we go. And it's. I'm just glad to be home. But there's been some. I know that you and Dad don't tend to go up that way anyway, but maybe avoid the academia for a while. Hero, there's business that needs to be taken care of, and just avoid it if you can.
I will. Like I always said,
Okay.
my little Juno, off on her own little odyssey. The first time I ever pick up a scroll is when I see her name at the top of it.
Okay, enough embarrassing me. You go back to training, and I'll take them into the house, show them around, okay?
She walks up to the spear, puts her foot against it, pulls in and flicks it around, puts it to her side.
Okay, don't show off. Oh, so
pretty
embarrassing.
Why would I
want
train
to
this
fight
much?
your mother.
Oh shit.
I want to fight your mother.
Okay, you can spar with her. Don't fight her. I don't want
Sparring
any
is
lasting
fighting.
damage.
I don't.
Okay,
It's
no,
like
but just
nice
practice.
fighting, like friend fighting,
Yeah.
though. Like
Feel free.
Sure.
not like kill fighting.
I could use the experience. All right, in you go. And she goes back to kind of position herself, and you see it's mostly just positioning and kind of learning her forms.
But yeah, I'll probably gather up the crew and kind of show them around the house quickly, but then find maybe the dining room or wherever we would take meals, and kind of shut all the doors and windows and stuff, just to make sure that
Yeah.
Yeah, you have two big kind of shutters there, and
Um,
you can close them off.
Yeah.
Orpheus in here so he can hear the story and determine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Orpheus
I
is
think-
getting
I
his
think,
head
yeah,
talked off by your father. and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, the
yeah,
one
I'll
who
go
did-
and fetch him.
Mr. Jocasta, I'm so sorry. We need
Huh?
Orpheus for a.
Ah.
We need to borrow Orpheus for a moment. I'm
Kind
so
of just
sorry.
don't.
Are you okay?
When you get back, let me tell you all about. It's amazing. I have a sailing trip that you would know that. And
I'll start.
Orpheus is kind of he's okay. It's a sailing trip. You will not believe the things we
I'm
saw.
so sorry.
This
I'm
close
so
to
sorry.
Charybdis. This close. And kind of door closes. Orpheus goes, ha, your father is it's quite a bit. He's a lot. Lovely.
Yes. He always dreamed of being on a great odyssey himself, sailor and being called Jason, and there's a lot of living up to names and things, but I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Didn't have the heart to tell him that I forget most of the songs I sing.
It's all right.
shit.
It's
Wait, how do you sing them again then?
I don't.
He
You only
doesn't.
sing them once.
That's it? You sing a song at one time and that's it?
Sometimes they can sound similar. Sometimes I'll sing about the same thing, but I don't really sing the songs. They just kind of sing through me. So I don't know them
No shit.
very well.
With the muse?
No, not usually. The muses often come to listen, and sometimes will help me along the way. But
Do you have
it's-
like an idea of a song and then you just start singing, or you just open your mouth and it comes out?
It's kind of like shivering. Just kind of comes to you when it happens. I don't know. I've just been blessed.
Interesting.
Well, we need to have a chat about our next steps. It sounds like we have to head to Talar, but how do we want to go about getting there? know that there's some concerns about traveling across the sea, but
That's
going
fine.
by
We can just
land.
do it.
Well, I mean, but they're good concerns, Janos. I mean, for the rest of you, like we've made it clear that I mean, traveling across the open ocean, there's risks involved.
What is the fastest way to get there? Like, how much time do we have?
I mean, magic would be the fastest way.
Do we know anyone
Well-
that can?
I look at Lena again, like hard stare.
What?
Can you teleport too?
No, that would be fucking great though. No, I gotta walk. Or I can swim. I can be a fish. I can be
We
a
can
squirrel. I can be,
do-
like
Wasn't it the case of the sisters gave us
Oh,
those
shit.
teeth or something that we can use
Yeah.
to go back and then use?
forgot.
They had a way to get to Talar.
okay. Wait, hold on. Orpheus, you got here the whole story because you need to come with us, and I don't like. I want you to want to come with us.
Or
right?
maybe you
Like,
don't want to come with us, but we
Yeah,
need the thing you
we
have.
need you.
So we need to you need to know what we're doing and why and everything.
And then we
so.
can, from here, go back to the Grey Sisters, then use the thing to go to Talar. That's the fastest. I forgot about that.
I think
Okay.
so. Yeah. If we
We
want to
will-
go, if we don't want to do that, I genuinely think the fastest way would be on boat and across the sea, but there would be risks. But I think that Grey Sisters travel would be the fastest.
Grey Sisters would be the fastest, but what are the odds that we end up in a situation like what exactly happened?
Yeah, right. Maybe
Just
if we.
yesterday.
Pretty close though. Here it feels like it is. They want us. I think what your teacher said. Like they want us to
Yeah.
do this.
They're
And
invested
really
in our
by-
success.
By rerouting us, we found Orpheus. Right? We would have gone right past him if we hadn't
Hmm.
gone to a separate place.
Uh,
Okay, Orpheus, do you know who the Grey Sisters are? Have you ever met them? Have you talked to them?
They are big fans.
Oh shit! Have you did you sing? Did you do a concert for them?
No, not willingly.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll tell them.
Yeah, should we just do the thing
Yeah.
of like we tell Orpheus the deal. We explain
Shit
everything.
is going down. The World 3 is fucked. We're going
we
to
give him
find
the whole
it.
story on
yeah.
this one.
He takes out
So like,
the shell and he kind of brings that. Do you tell him about the fates as well?
I think
I would think I
We're
would like
trying to
look at
get
everyone and be
Michelle
like,
from him. I think we tell him everything.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
he
just
doesn't
don't
know
hold him.
everything,
exactly.
it lowers our chances of getting it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 100%. Juno's like, yep, exactly that.
He lowers the shell. Before any persuasion checks happen, I'll let you kind of give a few sentences or what your kind of way of convincing me is. After you kind of tell him everything, he looks across it. I have one favor that I can call upon any god. And I'm too scared to ask what I want, but it is likely you know. I want her back. I want to find her. I've been thinking of saying Hades' name, Hecate's name, Hermes to steal her back, or
get Eldred.
Zeus, maybe he can make a deal. I don't know which one to call, but I've been saving it for her, and you need it to save the world. And here I am being selfish that all I think about is her.
I don't think it's selfish.
It's understandable.
Very.
Those of us from Midgard, do we know about the her?
I told you. I told.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, you did.
Genos mentioned that he was singing about his wife,
Okay.
who has been dead.
I think a couple of us know how that feels.
Yeah.
And I look at Eldred. We would like to do the same in our world. find a way in.
You lost someone too.
And I too already have a blossoming relationship with Agate. So you help us with this. I would be happy to help connect you with Agate and do what we can to
To help.
see what needs to be done with Hades. Help you with that, which would, I think, help me with my situation in Midgard and Hell.
We're not gods, Orpheus, but we do you a favor.
He looks down to the shell. Which of you three would like to roll the persuasion check? You have advantage.
Whoever rolls it, I'm gonna add a
I will,
d6.
'cause I think
I think Lena's got the best charisma.
I've got. Right, what do I have advantage?
Yeah.
Watch me.
And you get a plus
Big
d6.
time.
Well,
A plus
Willoughby's
D6.
going to add a d6. And you can Synac it as well, right?
Holy shit. Plus a 1 plus, I can psi it. Fuck me, dude.
Oh my god, with plus 8 as well.
I know.
2 4s.
Jesus. 19.
19.
But I make sad puppy dog eyes. No, I don't. That's weird. She wouldn't do that.
Lowers it down. There's no guarantee that you'll be successful, but then maybe I don't even have that long anyway. I mean, with everything going on, maybe the gods won't even listen. Maybe I'll call for Hades and he won't be here in 2 weeks. 3.
There's no guarantee of anything, right? But I can guarantee you, I can promise you that we will try very, very hard to fix this, and we will try very, very hard to help.
You know, she couldn't hear my music. I wish she could, but at the same time, it was refreshing to speak to someone that just wanted to speak about something other than it. Everything she did, she always tried to leave a better world behind her. She was the kindest person I've ever met. He raises the shell up. I've brought gods to tears. I've seen a gentle heart on the fury of Ares. I've made Zeus laugh, Dionysus quiet. I've made Aphrodite weep so much that she had to go and change her makeup. I still think about her smile, though, as the greatest thing I've ever seen. But if she were here right now, she'd want me to give this to you. He places on the center of the table. When you want to summon a god, you put the shell to your mouth. You speak their name, and they'll come. At least that's what I was told by Poseidon. I haven't yet to try it, but
Thank you, Orpheus.
Thank you, Orpheus.
Thank you.
you're doing the right thing.
do what we can.
If you are successful, I hope I remember your song.
It would be an honor to have one written about us by you. I'd make my dad real proud.
And make sure the one time you sing it, her dad is here.
I think it would literally break his mind. I think he would just explode.
Maybe I'll even mention him in it.
Well, that will don't don't hurt yourself on my account. Thank you. This makes things a lot easier, and it means that we don't have to burden you with the next steps as well. But for now, relax. I'll try and keep my father away as long as I can, but enjoy a moment of relative peace and quiet. All of us.
Think I owe you more, though. Not for the fact that you are... for saving me. That shell... If you'd found me singing a happy song, and had spoken the same words, told me the same truths you just did then, I'd have given you the shell. So in return, for saving me from a monstrous fate, may I give you something that may make your mornings a little better?
You don't have to, but of course.
I would like to.
Mornings are pretty crap, so sure.
He takes his lyre, begins pulling at each of the strings once at a time, goes a little faster, and then runs his nails against it once, and the notes seep out into each of you. You kind of feel this warmth go into you. Each morning, when you wake, you hear a little song. And when you think of this next, it might help turn the tides. It's a muse's favor. Translated to, each of you, when you wake upon dawn, get a D12 bardic inspiration that you can use any point of the day. It refreshes when you wake again.
Stop, Orpheus.
Not bad.
That's pretty dope.
Aw, buddy.
He sits back in the chair. Just try not to say the wrong name into the shell.
Yeah, very important one.
Who do you
I
think?
think unless there's... Oh, go on.
He's just going to look up once and say, who do you think did it?
Don't know.
Well,
If you had to have one guess right now.
still,
I think Hermes did it, but for somebody from Asgard.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if it was Hermes, but I think that there's a deeper...
If I had to say somebody, I'd say Hermes.
Yeah.
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite.
I don't trust that person that was next to Zeus.
Oh, that's right. You said like you couldn't see what they look like, right?
They're
They were,
one of
like,
the
in a
only
hood.
people I couldn't figure out.
I don't know your gods well enough to guess who it could be, right? Would one of them do something like that without the one in charge knowing?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There was that mortal. I think they were connected to Dionysus in some way, but they weren't happy about being there.
Oh yeah, the one that was like staring or
Yeah.
whatever and mad.
Mhm. Yeah. Gods are one thing, but us mortals, we can do great things if we put our minds to it. And if I was a Midgard god looking for an unassuming person to, I don't know, get involved in all this or be part of something, could easily be. but I don't know.
Would have done it from Asgard.
Well, we
Somebody
remember there
wanted
was
to make Valhalla happen.
somebody who wanted to. That was all that business with the mistletoe, right?
Hmm.
Freya, our boy.
Mhm.
But still, we've got a long way to go before we even can be firm in that.
Well, good luck wherever you go next.
You too.
Don't bother your father too much. It wasn't a case of the hospitality is lovely, but I think I'll slip out
If
the
you
back.
if you need to slip out the back, I was going to say we can definitely make that work. It's thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
He stands up. He opens one of the shutters on the window. And, sorry, this is not very classy.
Do you
of
need
me.
a boost?
A little one, if you don't mind. It's not anything. Your father's lovely. It's just that,
I get it.
he
I snuck out of this place playing some.
climbs onto the other
Get
side.
out. It's fine. I'll deal with it.
Juno's dad is right there. What are you guys doing?
Oh, hi.
Well, next time I'll probably hear of you before I see you next. Take care.
We'll come find you when it's done. Help you out.
I hope you find your ones as well. He looks to you, Lena and Eldred. You've got each other, though. Take care. And he walks off down the hill and away from your home.
Yeah, unless there's like anything that people want to talk about or do specifically, I think like Juno would go and help her parents kind of like get the dinner and like probably help put on a big old feast for everyone.
Willoughby, can we put the shell in the box in your chest?
I was about to say, I think that'd
Yeah,
be
right.
a good idea. Yeah, Wilby will do that.
Okay.
And then,
Your mother and your father are kind of hosting a great feast of every food they can. There's a whole kind of cheese board and selection of breads. Some staled ones that are kind of almost like crouton-like to kind of paste the cheese across. Hummus and
hummus.
yeah, lots of hummus. You can see this kind of like onions kind of sliced up and covered in olive oil. They've got all
Listen,
manner of
dude,
foods.
I was just out in Greece for
Yeah.
a week. Like I can imagine this exactly because
Yeah.
I've been eating it for like a week. I've been having that
This is-
Greek buffet
You've
at
been
the hotel.
living the immersive experience of this.
Yeah,
Um,
you're full like lots of pork, lots of like
Mhm.
lovely roasted pork and like gyros and souvlaki and delicious
Just all
breads,
across the table.
olive salad,
olive.
fresh salad. I think Juno might find like a quiet point, like as everyone's having dinner, to just kind of go to Eldred, maybe sit next to like on the big long benches around the table, and just kind of put a little sort of like folded up piece of cloth in front of Eldred, and say, "I saw you got some clothing just for the warm weather, and in Mesogaia, when we wear the toga and many things like that, we often have to have clasps to keep it together. And I figured that you might not have been able to get something like this before because you've never been here. But I'll just sort of unfold it and see a silvery, basically like a piece of a brooch, like a symbol of Hecate, and just kind of say, I don't imagine you would have. I don't know if I just thought that this might be something you would like.
I just pounce, hug.
Oh, okay, and just sort of like, hey, I just, you needed it for if you're going to wear this outfit, and
It's beautiful. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Put it on immediately.
You've saved my life plenty of times, and
She
this is-
saved your life.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This is her home. I hope that you can find that connection here. Reach out to her, speak to her, pray to her.
Yeah.
It's not that I dislike the gods. I disagree with what some of them do and what some of them think, but from what I've seen, Hecate she represents something that is truly mystical and beautiful and wonderful, and you've shown that power, though sometimes a little unsettling for some. You've shown that power can be used for making the world a better place. And I hope that you can feel closer to her here, in my home, in my lands.
Thank
you.
See someone so cheery and bright and morning loving and being still so accepting of something so many just find creepy.
Well, I like mornings in the same way that I like sunsets. You know, it's a reminder of that this life is a cycle and that, you know, we all have to end at some point. We all die. I think that's what makes life beautiful.
It doesn't have to be forever.
True. But still, just sort of go back to it and just sort of like, you know, maybe like help her put it on, because if, you know, Eldridge Neverborn, like, you know, knows where to like clip it on and stuff like that. So show her where to put it on and then just go back to serving everyone else and take a moment away.
The whole spread laid out in front of you. You see your father's eating a fair chunk of it as well, and your mother. They're both eating kind of pretty happily. They both of them incredibly physical people, so they're just kind of consuming as much as they can now, and sitting back with kind of comfort. If you need more, we can get more. Otherwise,
we calorie load in this house.
Yeah.
You know.
Pretty good.
You see your father kind of sit back and look across. Sophie's had to go, did he? Oh, it's a shame.
He said he really enjoyed talking to you, though.
He had urgent business for, you know, inspiration struck him, Father. He just had to go and work on his new pieces.
I think something about this house might have inspired him.
Maybe some stories that he heard.
He just picks up another olive, looks into his mouth.
Yeah. I'll give my mum, I'll just like wink at mum and just be sort of like wink.
Rolls her eyes.
Yeah.
Shakes her head. So where are you off to next?
Across the sea.
Yeah.
If we can. I nod towards Janos.
Look, we can do the sea. I'm just saying, if things go wrong, I'm abandoning you.
It's fine. I think.
Way.
Yeah. I think
Best
that we
way
have.
seems like the smartest option.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
No, see. Fast way. We skip it.
All right.
Yeah. We've got there's a thief that we have to track down and some stolen memories, and there's a bully I need to deal with as well. But lots to do.
Is that one from school again?
It is.
And I think along our way, maybe we find someone for Janos. He is looking for too.
Oh, that's... I don't think that's going to be a place that we should be going, unless it's to confront...
Be out and about. Maybe he comes out and we find him along the way. I don't know. It sounded like, right? It's all part and parcel of the same thing, so...
That's true. Maybe.
Well, she pours each of the wines, lifts her cup, pours one for you as well, Willoughby, and waters beside it, in case you wish for it. To your warrior friend, and to the end of your odyssey. Or the beginning.
Yep.
Cheers.
Oh, I think our odyssey has already begun.
Cheers,
With that.
City.
Skull.
Skull.
Hey.
He puts down and looks at his horsey.
Oh yeah, she hates wine.
She doesn't love it.
I know.
It's not really a thing.
They drink like honey alcohol or something.
Yeah, it's like it is
Yeah.
way thicker, you know. Like this is quite nice,
Weird.
but it's like a water that is right. It's like
Oh.
thicker kind of.
Okay, I think of something, and I'll go to like our like liquor cabinet that we have in the house, and I'll basically get like a kind of early ouzo, and I'll
Nice,
pour like some
yeah.
shots of that for Eldred, and be like, maybe this is more up your street. It's
Drink.
yeah, it's
Okay.
it's like a strong
Okay.
spirit, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Better than that fruit juice. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put the bottle next to Eldred.
Amazing.
Well, we'll be here when you get back, Juno. Or we might not be.
You better be.
I only meant your father wants to sail south before this whole war kicks off. But Athra is our home.
It's not a bad idea to south.
Homes can change. At least you have a home.
Do not
Whatever.
mistake my lack of conviction for feeling unfortunate. I'm very happy to have our home. Very happy to have our family. To have a daughter that is so inquisitive and pursuing. It is just the unsurety, the uncertainty of what comes next that worries me. I'd rather see my attacker, which is probably why, Genos, you'd probably beat me in a fight.
It'd be close. It'd be close.
Well,
Mother, you might prefer to see your attacker, but that doesn't mean you have to go running for a fight.
I just don't want to be running from one.
I think there's a difference there, right? You're not running away from a fight if you go south. You're taking your husband into safety, a new home. If the fight is going to happen, it might come to you anyway.
Whatever you choose to do is your choice. I know your pride in your spirits is one thing that my logic cannot fight. I understand that.
Juno, I
So
want to
much
arm
more.
wrestle your mom.
Oh, by all means. Hey, I enjoy a show. If you want to do it, go ahead.
Jason, move the olives.
Like-
And he goes,
I'll clear the stuff on my side.
Yeah,
pulls
yeah.
her sleeve up and puts her arm out.
Yep.
I'll
Arm
pour
out.
out several shots of drink of Uzo spirit.
So it's an athletics check against one another. If you
yeah,
get
easy.
if you win, you push them into kind of a vulnerable form, and if you win the second
Yeah,
time,
you
you
gotta do it
stand.
twice. Yep.
But a
Easy.
nat 20 also is a straight win.
Cool.
Okay,
Let's go.
it's plus your athletics. She has a +5.
Ooh, 12 for me.
Yeah. She is like a pretty normal soldier.
She only just
Oh,
pushes your arm back just slightly, gets the advantage. Okay.
that's fair.
You can see also she's been training today. She's kind of her arms are a little bit flexed.
Yeah. Oh,
Roll
hell
again.
She's got some pump on.
yeah. 10. Oh, she wrecks me.
Pushes your arm down with a 23.
Hell yeah.
And rolls down her sleeve again. You're strong, but
Are
you care too much for winning. Whereas I
Can you make
focus
her
on
make a
form.
con save for me?
Yeah, sure.
This mother. You poisoning my mom?
No.
like your
a
friend's
9.
mom?
You know what's happening, Joe. It's the ability.
Oh, okay.
Come to someone's house.
She looks at you straight in the eye. Is that the one?
Yeah.
You focus too much on winning, and not enough on... She freezes up. You see her body turn stone-like.
Hello?
And then it
Genos.
passes.
You see it kind of ripple down her again after about 6 seconds.
Are you
Even
okay?
if you're looking at something, it can be unexpected. You don't have to look for a fight. Just watch your back.
There's like a shimmering
I would
gold
hit
behind Juno,
Yeah, it's
like
like a
something
Juno.
was getting ready to like.
I kind of put my hand
Okay,
in my gun.
bedtime for everyone.
kinda staring at you the whole time.
Good night. Good night. Off to rooms.
Good night.
Come on,
I'm
Genos.
so tired. I can't believe it. It's bedtime already.
That is fun. She's good. She is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They slip off into
Thanks
their
for
own room.
teaching her a lesson. Yeah.
Before going, Jason looks towards you, Willoughby. Goes, we should turn in, but you don't sleep.
No, I don't.
Do you want anything? And leave anything out?
I was gonna just walk around the city for a while.
Ah. The city lights up at night. Athra is loud in the day, but beautifully quiet at night. You see, this is what we call the sailor's time. Many boats
Sounds
like
like
to sail
my
down the
kind
rivers.
of time, to be honest.
Good. Don't drink from the river, from the fountain of Aphrodite. I'm not sure if I saw a fountain of
wouldn't have.
wine, I would drink from it.
I'll be fine, but thank you for the warning.
Does it turn into baby?
No, you'll just be arrested.
Oh.
Baby? One disinterest.
There's a fountain. It turns baby.
Long story.
Your parents go off to bed. The night comes. As the dawn rises, you each hear a small song play in your head. That's where we'll end tonight's episode with you on the precipice of your next adventure.
Nice.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you, Joe.
thank you for playing,
Appreciate it.
everyone.
Thank you for indulging me. What
No,
an
of course, thanks
indulgent
for-
session. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it was good to deep dive. Hey, so you've got one of the 3 items, or 3 things. I shouldn't really call Loki an item. But yeah, you've got your direction. You know more about what's going on. So next time we get to see one of the next 2 locations. It'll be fun.
Nice.
Thanks everyone for playing. We'll do some shout outs and then I'll let you guys get on with your lives. Let's start around from Gabe and go that way.
Hi, Gabe Hicks, Gabe James Games, across the internet. Not as much going on. If you go to my page, you can find a book that I wrote that has been all over the place, which is wild. I wrote a book for like getting like anyone like 10 plus into tabletop games. I also, in like a week and a half, have an announcement for a game that I've been producing, and then a
Nice.
podcast that I've been recording in a post-apocalyptic world that we're
Not
going
much
to be
going
posting
on.
out. That's true. That's not as much going
Yeah.
on.
Days.
Yeah. But yeah, go to my social medias and you'll find stuff. It's weird stuff, but you'll find stuff.
It's good stuff. Brizzy.
Brizzy Voices, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I'm very, very close to finishing Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I just have
Oh,
like
nice.
the last mission. Just gotta kill the guy. So my next stream will possibly be doing that.
Nice.
Nice.
Good job. Okay. Tomato.
I have truly nothing going on.
And I believe
Rest.
it. I believe it. Okay, I'm not going to dive. I've learned my lesson. Okay, the deeper I dive into you, the harder it gets. Chrissy.
Hello, I'm OLG. I don't really have much going on
Mm-hmm.
either, honestly. I mean, I do, but it's not anything cool or exciting. It's all awful and sad and depressing, and so I don't really want to talk about it. And now I mentioned it, and now I just feel weird. You can follow me on Twitter, and I bitch about stuff there, but not that. I don't know, just whatever.
Hey, go follow Chrissy. Go follow LG. Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, I am on the internet in many places. Sherlock Holmes. Sometimes there's an underscore, sometimes there isn't. Where is the underscore? It's a good question. In many places. High Rollers. It's a D&D show I do. Last 2 episodes. This Sunday, next Sunday.
Oh, damn.
Well, not of all, like, it's for our second campaign. It's like a 5-year-long campaign, the last 2 episodes of that campaign. And then we are hopefully coming back nearer the end of the year to start our campaign 3.
Nice.
Because one of our members had a baby. And now we've got she already had the baby.
Oh, no.
The baby came a lot earlier than we were expecting.
Oh, no, because you were trying to finish before it, right?
Luckily, everything is really good. They've already posted about it, but yeah, I'm not going to go into it too much. But yeah, so but it means that we're going to be taking a little bit of time off before the next campaign begins.
Smart.
We'll probably be doing like a lot of one-shots and stuff like that. But if you've not watched any High Rollers and you're looking for a good jumping in point, then the new campaign is going to be the place to do that.
Also, you have 6 months to watch the entirety
characters.
of the last one.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you've got like it's a lot of time. But it's like 190 episodes, so don't worry about it if you don't.
You could do it. Let's look at 1 a day. Just do it.
Yeah,
2 a day
come
if
on.
you go.
Don't.
2 times speed.
Babies.
But yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all. High Rollers DGB.
He just came back from holiday.
Sleepy.
Joe Fudge, you can see me on this channel. There's a Patreon if you want to see behind the scenes info, GM notes, homebrew, all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, yeah, I don't have much going on either the next week or 2. So I have nothing to shout out other than we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone, for playing. Wow. We'll see you for episode 44. I would say this, by the way, in terms of hydras. Hydras in Mesogai are the equivalent of ancient dragons. That's the kind of design. Because there's no dragons in Greek mythology, so I made the hydras them.
That's cool.
They're pretty fun.
Right.
That's nice.
Okay. So see you guys next time. Bye. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Fine.